Stand up, New York Giant fans. Baddog, we're back from the bye, and we got Tom Brady coming up next.
Yeah, how was the week off, my man? How did we spend the week off?
Just relaxing, man. Just relaxing. Nothing crazy. Went out a couple of nights. Actually, it was my birthday last week, so I went out with friends a couple of times.
Right.
Getting ready for my brother's wedding. So he's getting married again because he got married during COVID, and not everybody.
Yes.
They're gonna have a second.
Well, they didn't have they just had the ceremony, but no reception, right?
So they're gonna have the reception in a week.
Nice. Free bar.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah, there you go. Hell yeah. Up Tainah coming back.
Let's say hello to a couple of people in the chat. What's going on there? Ordinary Pete. What's going on? Tim Hansen. What's going on? Dire Giants fan. Fabi in the chat. John Kim in the chat. Pete Parker in the chat. A fan with a mic in the chat. Tornado in the chat. Thank you to everybody for being here. And like I said, Baddog. Couple of things we got to touch on as far as the Giants goes. Hopefully, it sounds like we're gonna be getting some of our big guns back. It looks like Andrew Thomas is probably gonna play this week. Saquon Barkley's probably gonna play this week. And for the Bucs, it looks like Antonio Brown will remain out, at least from what I've read, and Vita Vea, but they'll be getting Gronkowski back. So on the injury front, at least that's some good news, and hopefully this New York Giants defense can keep it up. But the thing I really worry about this week with the Bucs, you're getting Tom Brady now off of 2 losses.
Yes.
And you could definitely say, I think there's 2 ways to look at this, Baddog. The Bucs now have lost 2 straight weeks to 2 backup quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. They lost to the Saints with a backup quarterback. And then, of course, they lost this past week against the backup quarterback. So maybe some Giants fans look at that and they're like, okay, well, maybe the Bucs aren't as good as we thought going in. But I think another side of Giants fans are going to look at that and say, this is going to be a wake-up call for Tom Brady, and he's going to go in there, and now I'm scared that he's going to annihilate our football team. And I never like to go up against the Bucs or Tom Brady coming off a loss, let alone 2.
Yeah, I was saying that when they were playing Washington, and I'm sitting there going, God, you guys couldn't have a bad game next week. You couldn't have saved it for Monday night. I mean, we have an extended period of time because we had the bye, and then we don't play until Monday night. So it does give our players, an extra day to get healthy. This could be the first time in a long time, really since the beginning of the year, that we've had all of our receivers out there. Because is Shepard's still out, right? Or is he?
Shepard, I think, is still out. Yeah, let me just check the injury report real quick. It did not. Yeah, it looks like Shepard's going to be out. Caden Smith did not participate.
That'll save Shep Oz some money.
Yeah, yes.
You won't bet on him to win to score the first touchdown.
And it looks like Zoe Carter is going to be out as well again.
Yeah, but I mean, for the most part, we'll have a lot of our offense back. I'm glad to get Andrew Thomas back. He's obviously missed on the offensive line quite a bit. Devontae Booker's done a nice job filling in for Saquon Barkley. So even if Saquon doesn't get the full workload, if we're going to win this game, I think we're going to have to win it the way we beat the Raiders. I think it's ball control, and I think we have to control the clock, run the ball, have good drives, and try to keep Tom Brady off. Because I'm like you, I hate facing him when they come off a loss. And, he's a determined guy. That he doesn't like losing. He's not used to losing, especially to Washington. The Saints are a pretty decent team. Washington's not. Washington's not a good team. We're not a good team either at this juncture in the season. So, maybe they came in, maybe they took Washington lightly. It happens. Sometimes you come in there, you just overconfident, like, this is nothing. This is a nothing team. We can wipe the floor of these guys. And before you know it, you're in a dogfight and it's too late to come back. They're not going to overlook the Giants. So, it's going to be tough. The one thing I can say, this is what hurts us. We have no pass rush. And I think Patrick Graham's going to have to scheme ways to get pressure on Brady because unlike most quarterbacks, Brady can't scramble. Yeah. So if you get pressure on Brady and can get to him, you can sack him. He's not getting away from you like a lot of the other quarterbacks he played. So I think that's a huge key to it as well. We have to run the ball. We have got to find a way to get pressure on Brady because he's not missing wide open guys in the end zone like Derek Carr did. Do I think we win this game? Yeah. I feel like we can beat any team any week. We got to play good football if we have a chance, though. That's for sure.
Yeah. Before you get to that, to go back to your point about the run game, I agree with you. That's every week that we got to try to establish. Yeah. But this week, I think it's going to be much harder. Last week going against the Raiders, their run defense was not good. The Bucs have the second best run defense in football. They only surrender 3.7 yards a carry. So even with Andrew Thomas back, I think it's going to be tough to establish that ground game. And maybe they got to get creative. Maybe they got to try to utilize Daniel Jones's legs a little bit in this game to try to create some splash plays, but I don't think they're going to have near as much success in terms of running the football this week against the Bucs. I guess the silver lining is the Bucs secondary is banged up and it's been horrible. So if they could block properly, which is a huge if, and we don't even know if Andrew Thomas is going to be the same player he was before the injury, maybe Daniel Jones could try to pick on this secondary of the Tampa Bay Bucs. I do think our defense will come out with a good game plan with 2 weeks to prepare, but you're getting an extra motivated Tom Brady. So it'll be an interesting game for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, my man. He says, finally release Beal. Now we can start winning. What a disaster. Another Dave Gettleman specialty.
Oh my God, Sam Beal, what a bust! And I was rooting for Sam Beal, but my God, man, that guy was completely irrelevant.
Yeah, he absolutely. I mean, the guy didn't play. Guy held out. Guy didn't play. Guy's gone. Good job, gentlemen. Amazing. New York Giants, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, my man. He says you guys probably saw what's going on in Babylon High School. Yeah, I go there. And he was excited for the game Monday. I want to sweep both Pirate teams this year. I don't know what's going on in Babylon High School. I don't even know where that is.
I know where it is. I used to live there. But let me see exactly what he's referring to.
Well, it's downstate, I guess. Yeah, I listen, compared to New York City, I'm like in a different country. I am a long ways from New York City. There's nothing up in Saratoga County, anything like New York City. Trust me when I tell you that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I see it now. 5 employees at Babylon Union High School District reassigned following allegations of sexual abuse. So there you go. Yeah, I actually used to live in Babylon for a couple of years. So
interesting society.
Yeah, there you go.
Disaster. They took a page out of Penn State. Joey G, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. No Antonio Brown, and that's a plus for us. Cheers.
Yeah, he's been out the last couple of weeks.
Gronk either, right?
Gronk. It looks like Gronk is gonna play. They said that he practiced. So I think we're gonna get Gronkowski. You still obviously got to worry about their weapons, Godwin and Evans and Gronkowski. They still definitely got a plethora of weapons.
Brady.
The biggest key in this game, Baddog, and we know it as well as anybody when it comes to Tom Brady as Giants fans. It's good to me. It's Leonard Williams. They have to be able to create some pressure without having to send all-out blitzes, because if you blitz against Tom Brady, he is going to pick you apart. I don't care how good your coverage is. He's one of the most cerebral quarterbacks in the league. He gets the ball up very quick. So to me, if we're going to have any chance to get significant pressure on Brady, it's going to have to come from the guys up front, that being Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams. I don't expect, safeties to be able to blitz and get after Tom Brady. I think we're going to have to win up at the point of attack. So to me, Leonard Williams is a huge, huge X factor in this game.
Yeah, especially the pressure up the middle. I mean, that's the way we beat Brady in the Super Bowl. Was pressure up the middle, because if you listen, Brady can't scramble. He's not a scrambler, but he's very elusive in the pocket. And he knows if you get an edge rush on Brady, he can step up in the pocket and throw it. It's the matter of taking his lanes, where he can't step up in the pocket and throw it. I do think, I mean, again, we don't have the best pass rush, but Leonard Williams he's been coming on lately. The defense has been coming on as well. Maybe if the secondary does give them that extra second or so to get there, they can get to Tom Brady. Again, he's not very he's elusive, but he's not going to kill you with his legs. We know that. So that's definitely a plus for this defense, because we have seen that they have got a little bit of pressure on some of these quarterbacks like Bridgewater early in the year, but they're able to get the hell out of there. Dak Prescott can move. Matt Stafford can move. Like all these guys that we played can move. Jameis Winston can move a little bit. Not that they're runners per se, but I don't know. The Falcons stink too. How the hell do we lose it? I don't get it.
Those games at the beginning of the year, if we miss the playoffs, you're going to look back and you're going to say
we are healthy. I mean, what's going on there?
We're playing better now. We're playing better now, banged up, than we were when we were healthy. And it's the defense. The defense has been much better, and we're going to need them to be much better.
It seems, honestly, Chris, this is kind of like a carbon copy of last year, except for Barkley's coming back. But it seemed like the defense picked it up in the second half of the season. We were able to run the ball with the backup in Wayne Gallman. Devontae Booker runs a lot like Wayne Gallman does. Wayne Gallman's in this game, by the way. Got one carry minus 3 yards. But that's kind of what we did last year. In the game against the Raiders was kind of like the game against the Seahawks last year, where we didn't ask Jones to do a lot through the air. He threw 20 passes. He had 105 or 110 yards. He wasn't asked to do too much outside of the first drive, where I thought they looked amazing, and I don't know why they stopped doing that. It did look like they could throw more, but they were able to really puncture the Raiders up front and own the time of possession, and that was what Jason Garrett's game plan was, and ended up working. So Again, I know it's going to be difficult, but we have to stick with the run. We have to figure out a way to run the ball. Like you said, we have to get creative. If that's with misdirections or something else, some end arounds or something. Daniel Jones on RPOs. We have to find a way. We got to find a way to run the ball for sure. John, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, hope Kadarius Toney gets his first touchdown as a return to Florida. Let's freaking go.
Yeah.
Asia, my lady.
I posted that. Oh, go ahead. Read Asia's first.
Oh, I was gonna. She says, "Hey, Baddog and Leonard, stand up, my sexy Tainah. Please pray for me. I'm getting my COVID shot Monday morning. My job requires it now. As for football, go Giants. Asia will be fine. I got it.
Yeah, we both got it.
Thumbs will be a bit sore, but other than that, you're okay.
Yeah, you'll be okay, Asia. Don't worry about it.
You'll be okay.
But I actually posted that on Twitter, Baddog. Kadarius Toney and Kenny Golladay have less combined points as Giants than Andrew Thomas does. Neither one of them have scored a touchdown.
Yeah,
Andrew Thomas had a 2-point conversion last year.
He did?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It is pretty funny. It is funny. Well, I mean, for a couple of weeks, you and I had more receiving yards than Kadarius Toney.
That's true. He had -2 yards.
Yeah, negative.
2 games.
Tutto grazie, says salute paisani. I just dropped by your office to pay our respects and Toynon delights and to sit down and crush all the stinky Eagle fans down the way. Is there a guy that hates the Eagles more than Tutto?
I don't know. Every one of his super chats involves him, killing an Eagle in some way.
He
shape,
hates
or form.
the Eagles.
So, and that's why I love him so much, because I can't stand the Eagles either. They're by far my most hated team. So that's why I can't get enough of Tutto.
You know my feelings on it. Listen, you're going to the game. I can't go to it, unfortunately. The beginning of the year, I felt confident on my bet with Philly 500. I ain't really feeling confident. I got to be honest with you. The Eagles look a lot better than I ever thought they would look this year. And that's a fact. They're very, very good, and then they're very, very bad. There's like no in between with them. Got to hope that we catch them on a really, really bad day. But that game against Denver is impressive. And again, you know what the Eagles decided to do? Stop making Jalen Hurts throw the ball and run the ball. It's amazing how that works when your quarterback isn't great. And you decide, hey, we can run the ball. Let's run the ball. And they do it. And then Jalen Hurts can make the plays. He's not asked to throw the ball 45 times. So we have to do with our quarterback. Don't ask him to throw 45, 50 times. Run the damn ball and then let Daniel Jones make the plays that are there to be made.
I still think we could beat them. I still think we could beat the Eagles.
I think we can beat them too. Listen, they're not good. They're just better than I thought they'd be. But we got bad luck against the Eagles.
Yeah, we do. We do have bad luck against the
Eagles. Hope that changes. We did beat them last year, the last game we played them. So hopefully that carries over, But I'm just saying I was extremely confident at the beginning of the year when I made that bet. And as it gets closer now, I'm getting nervous that I might have to wear that puke-ass green. I don't even want to think about it. Johnny Letourneau comes into the chat every night. He's like, Baddog, you think you're going to be wearing that Eric Allen jersey? Baddog, how about the Eagles? Baddog, do you think the Giants can win? I don't know. Killian, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says we need a similar defensive game plan to what we had against Kansas City. And I think we have a chance if we execute like we did in that game. Staying up. So excited. That's right. Killian is from overseas.
Yeah,
so
he's awesome.
Early in the morning for him.
Yeah, he's a great supporter of both of ours. And Killian, defensively, I definitely agree with you. I think we do need to come out with a similar game plan that we did against the Chiefs. When we played the Chiefs, we didn't really blitz them a lot. We played a bend but don't break approach, and we tried to force turnovers from within the red zone. And I think it's going to be something similar against Brady and the Bucs because like I said, if you send the dogs at Brady, he's going to pick you apart, man. Yeah. And I know Brady's turned it over the last couple of games. You can't bank on that. The guy still has 20 touchdowns. He's still got a plethora of weapons, and he's coming in motivated. I know we have an extra week to prepare, but if I'm the Giants, I'm not getting blitz happy against Tom Brady. I'm sorry. And I think you need to try to find the best opportunity to create turnovers is from within the red zone because the field shrinks. It gives you a more condensed field. It gives you a better opportunity to try to create turnovers, and you have to try to hold them to 3 and not give up touchdowns. So I think our defensive game plan will be similar to that against the Chiefs. I'm in complete agreement with you on that. I worry about stopping their run for sure. Our run defense has not been good all year. That's something that still struggled even with the resurgence of this defense. But, we're going to have to hold them to 3s and not 6s.
Yeah, no doubt. Press Giants fan, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, my man. Odds of us winning this game, I think we can win for sure. I think we can win. I don't know how great our odds are. I would say 3-1, maybe. They're not. I don't think they're long, but I don't think they're great.
They're pretty long. I mean, we're 12-point underdogs. I
Really?
mean, at least by Vegas' standards. I think we're 4.5 to 1 by Vegas' standards. Somebody told me in one of my other streams. I think we're going to be closer than the spread suggests. I will say that. I do think it'll be a pretty competitive game. I'm going to pick the Bucs, but I do think we'll keep it relatively close. And I think it'll be because of the defense we do that. I was looking at the turnovers created, and it was something that I thought we were going to really thrive in this year with the Giants. And we've suddenly become one of the best teams in terms of creating turnovers. The first 3 or 4 weeks, we barely created any. Suddenly, we're 8th in the league in that category because you look over the last 4 or 5 games, every game they're creating at least 2 turnovers. And if they're going to have a chance to win in this game, they're going to have to do just that. And I think they will create a turnover or 2 against Brady. I really do. I think Graham's going to come up with a good game plan. I think it's going to be pretty close, but I'm going to say something like 24-20. I'm going to pick the Bucs. I think the Giants will cover, but I'll take the Bucs in a close game.
Brady's turned the ball over a lot this year. He has definitely thrown more interceptions than you expect him to throw, but he has definitely made some mistakes. I mean, he's been less than perfect this year. So, yeah, I think he's there to be had. I mean, McKinney's got 4 picks this year. So, Bradbury's starting to pick the ball up. We have started to force some turnovers in the secondary. And, again, it kind of models last year where the defense started off slow, and then all of a sudden it found its groove, and we started winning some ugly games, but we were winning. I was joking with you before we came live. And I said, we lost the bye week. If anybody could lose the bye week, it was the Giants. Every team in the NFC East won. We got no help from anybody. Washington won, Philly won, Dallas destroyed Atlanta. In
my opinion, that was actually good for us, even though you never want to root for Dallas. I actually think that was, in terms of our playoff possibility, I thought that was a good thing.
But I mean, the Saints won. That didn't help us at all. If we have any chance, we have to win Monday. We can't.
The way I look at it, Baddog, right now, I'm looking at the standings here. Right now, the 7th seed, and that's our ticket to the playoffs if we're going to make it. Obviously, we're not winning the division. Carolina's 5-5. You got Minnesota at 4-5. You got San Francisco at 4-5. You got the Falcons.
Yeah, San Francisco won too. Of course, they beat the Rams. That
was bad for us. Yeah. The Falcons are about to drop to 4-6. So I think 8 wins maybe gives you a shot to make the playoffs with a tiebreaker. I think 9 wins definitely gets you in. But for the Giants to win 9 games, I think their only chance to do that, they have to beat Tampa Bay this week, because I could convince myself that they could win 5 out of their last 7, even though I may not pick them to do so. When you look at the schedule, you're like, okay, yeah, they could beat Washington. They could beat Chicago with a rookie quarterback. They could beat Miami, and maybe they could sweep the Eagles, right? So I could convince myself that they have a shot to win 5, but the only way they're getting to 9 wins is if they beat the Bucs. So I'm with you, man. If we don't beat the Bucs, even though I don't think we're going to the playoffs anyway, but to have any kind of hope that we have a realistic shot to go on a run and make the playoffs, I think we have to beat the Bucs this week.
Absolutely. Dave, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. My man says, put Barkley in the slot occasionally. Have Booker run the rock. Give DJ the options to audible run throw. Bucs would be confused. I think that Booker's going to get more carries than Barkley. I don't know how many carries Barkley will get coming off the injury, but I would like to see Booker tote the ball more. I would like to see it even, because I believe they're 2 different types of backs. And I would have liked to have seen Gallman. Well, we didn't get a chance because Barkley was out all last year, but there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we saw Tiki Barber and Ron Dane do it, Thunder and Lightning, that worked. We saw Brandon Jacobs and Derek Ward do it years ago when they each had 1,000 yards on the ground. I'm not saying Devontae Booker's going to get 1,000 yards, but it might not hurt to limit Barkley's carries even going forward, even when he's 100%, since he does seem like he gets injured a lot. I don't think there's any problem with trying to give Booker maybe 10 to 15 touches a game and on the ground. And Booker's also a good receiver out of the backfield, and do the same for Barkley. Maybe give Barkley a little bit more of a workload. But again, he's had a hard time staying healthy, so why not try to keep him fresh, have a change of pace back? Booker's been effective. It might not be a bad idea to have Booker run the rock and maybe try to get Barkley out in a pass game. Maybe you run a split back formation with both of them in there. I mean, who the hell knows? This is up to Dr. Garrett. So we'll figure out what he does. But let me
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you, because I did a video on this, and I was kind of like, what do you think the main culprit is for the Giants' failures on offense? And I kind of put 5 things out there. So is it Judge? Is it Garrett? Is it the offensive line? Is it the injuries? Is it Daniel Jones? What I want to ask you is there a way to fix this offense which has just it's been bad. I mean, there is no ifs, ands, and buts. People could say Daniel Jones has played well and he's been the best player on the offense, and that's fine and great, but his offense averages less than 20 points a game. Is there anything we can do to score more points? What can we do to put more points on the board? Besides the obvious, when we get in the red zone, we got to score a touchdown. But
yeah. I mean, if you're asking me what I think the biggest problem is with this offense, I think it's the offensive line, and I think it's Garrett. If I had to pick, I think those are the two biggest, and I would say the O-line's the biggest. I would say Garrett second, because I do, as much as I don't like to blame Garrett as like the main culprit, at the end of the day, look at the results under Pat Shurmur with the same equally bad offensive line with worse weapons. The New York Giants had more red zone touchdowns in 2019 than they've had with Garrett in his 2 years here. We had 31 red zone touchdowns with Shurmur in 2019. We have 30 since 2020 in the 16 games last year and the 9 games this year. Some of that has to fall on play calling. So for me, I think the biggest problem is the offensive line, which the New York Giants failed to address this year. And, of course, they've had some unfortunate injuries. And hopefully with Andrew Thomas coming back, I think we got a glimpse of what this offense could potentially look like against a pretty good defense with the Saints when they had Andrew Thomas in the lineup and they were blocking properly with Saquon Barkley in there. And hopefully that'll be the case going forward, getting those two guys back. But, yeah, I think Andrew Thomas being back will definitely go a long way towards helping the offense. But for me, the two biggest problems are the line and Jason Garrett, for sure.
Yeah. Tutto, grazie. He says, we had a huge win against a powerful team, and we were underdogs last week. Hard work and determination always pays off. We're living proof. Well, the good thing about that is, Tutto, getting that win last week is the Giants were able to close something out and beat a team. That's the first time in Daniel Jones' career he beat a team over 500. The Giants were able to hold on and win that game. The defense played really well. They ran the ball very effectively. But maybe, again, we won 2 out of 3. So really could have won 3. I mean, we were right in that Chiefs game. Maybe this team does start to build a little bit of confidence, and confidence goes a long way, man. When you think you're going to beat a team and you go out there with confidence, you play better. It's just, I mean, even if you're a regular person, if you're a 9-to-5 average Joe like me or anybody else, you just do things better when you're confident in your own abilities. Like if you're questioning yourself, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're at the gym and you're questioning a lift, or you're a runner and you're questioning how fast you can run, you're questioning whatever, and you don't have confidence in, you'll never perform up to, your best. Yeah. Unless you go out there and go, I know I can lift this. I know I can bench this. I know I can run that fast in a mile or that fast in a 50. I know I can do this at my job. Like I know I can get this done. No question about it. You're going to perform better. So hopefully, a couple of these wins gets this team confident that they can win, and they start to perform better. They start to believe in themselves. They're going to play better naturally. That's just human nature. So hopefully you come off a win. They didn't have the extra week to think about the loss, so they went into the bye feeling good about themselves. Hopefully they come out well-rested and healthy, and they give the Bucs everything that we can give them and come away with a win somehow, some way.
I think we got a shot.
Adam, buddy. Thank you, sir. He says, what's the best scenario? Win and maybe Dave Gettleman keeps his job, or lose or get a new GM? We obviously love wins, but kind of hope for losses, to be honest. I'm tired of Gettleman. I want to win. I don't care what the hell happens. We win and we keep Gettleman. I'm fine with that. I want to win.
Yeah, Adam, I understand where you're coming from, and I definitely understand why fans are sick of Gettleman. But for me, I think the best thing going forward for this team is if they win and we could keep this intact and continue to build off of what has been built so far by Dave Gettleman, even though a lot of us think that it hasn't been built properly. I don't want to have to knock this thing down all over again and start from scratch. And if you bring in an outside GM, that's essentially what you're going to be doing. So for me, best case scenario, yeah, we win 9 games. We make the playoffs and we continue to build up what's been built the last 4 years. But will that happen? I mean, obviously the odds are against us.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Darnell, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. And it says, feels like Jones still plays for Duke with this O-line. You didn't have to super chat again, Darnell, but I do appreciate them both. Thanks so much, man. I mean, yeah, that's what's so disappointing about Dave Gettleman to me, Chris, is that the first thing he says, I'm fixing the offensive line. Yep. And outside of 2020's draft, he never tried. He didn't draft anybody. We didn't draft that kid from Kentucky in the 7th round, George, whatever his last name was.
Asap Ojai, yeah.
We didn't draft a single lineman this year. He depended on Matt Parrott, and he depended on Shane Lemieux. They let Zeitler go. That was something he did bring. He brought in Solder. He brought in Zeitler. He drafted Will Hernandez. What else did he do?
No, I mean, that up until this year, I thought he was trying with the offensive line. Okay, he made a massive trade to get Zeitler. He signed Solder to a massive contract. He drafted Hernandez relatively early. He drafted 3 offensive linemen in 2020. So I looked at Zeitler as kind of his 2019 draft pick for the line to try to, fill in that vacancy. But this year, you lose Zeitler and you don't do anything to replace it. So, yeah, that's where Gettleman lost me this offseason in terms of, like, even though I didn't agree with everything the guy did, I at least saw what he was trying to do. And this year, it didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, you're all about the offensive line. You lose your best lineman and you do nothing to replace the guy. And you're just banking on a guy that had like a 30 PFF grade the year before in Shane Lemieux, who was the worst pass blocking guard in all of football. And Matt Parrott, who couldn't even beat out Nate Solder in training camp. So, I thought that, and I don't know if that was more of a Judge decision or a Gettleman decision. We know they work together, whatever. But whosever decision it was, and I'm going to put it on Gettleman because he's the GM. To me, it was a horrible job on their part. You had to take it on, especially after you spent the money that you did on Kenny Golladay in free agency. Yeah. You had to address the offensive line early in the draft.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I was surprised that they went Kadarius Toney. I thought Rashawn Slater was the guy. You all know I wanted Creed Humphrey. I never made any bones about that. What is he, like the best rated center in the league? I mean, Creed Humphrey's an absolute stud. That should have been the guy in the second round. I love Aziz, but God Almighty, we need an offensive line. And I'm sorry, man, you should have taken Creed Humphrey. Creed Humphrey's a freaking animal. The guy's like one of the highest rated centers in the league as a rookie. Come on, man. He's a left-handed freaking snapper too. You know how weird that is? There's not a lot of left-handed centers. That just tells you Creed is special. Dog, Grazie says, when we face a much stronger opponent, that's when my name comes up. The hitman to take the best player out. Mission accomplished. That'd be Brady. And Tuco was in the stream the other night, and he said he would have got in there and he would have eaten because I don't care if I get kicked out of the league, I would have killed Tom Brady.
Tuco's gonna be the hitman.
The Giants see Tuco just in the locker room. They're gonna fire it up. Nothing else. Tuco, you ought to be the defensive coordinator or a linebackers coach or something.
I'm with that.
Seemed like he'd be a good linebacker. His attitude kind of reminds me of like Mike Singletary. I don't know why, but I could see like Tuco being like Mike Singletary, just like the big eyes and kill you out there. Although Singletary was kind of an undersized, Tuco's a tank. It's 245 or something crazy. The guy's a beast. Yuri, thank you, buddy. I'm just glad he's on our side. I say that all the time. Thank you, buddy. He says, come on, Judge, call a fake punt or field goal. That would be interesting.
Yeah, he's only called one fake field goal since he's been here, and it was called back because of Cam Fleming, I think, had an offsides penalty or full start penalty. And I think somebody in the chat said it earlier, our special teams this year, awful. If there was, and there's a lot of things you can complain about this year with Joe Judge. I think the biggest thing that kind of gets overlooked when people complain about Joe Judge, because you harp on the timeout usage, whatever, the bad penalties.
Right, and the conservative play calling as well.
The conservative play calling. Our special teams this year have to be among one of the worst in the league. And this is coming from a guy that is supposed to be known as a special teams coordinator that spends extra resources to try to make our special teams as good as they possibly could be. And if you remember, Baddog, the year before Judge got here, our special teams was among one of the best in the league. And it's why we kept our special teams coach on the roster. This year, I don't know what happened. I mean, Riley Dixon's been pathetic. The punt coverage hasn't been that great. We've had penalties on special teams this year. It's been horrible.
Maybe it's because of Nate Ebner.
Yeah, maybe Nate Ebner.
Ebner's a curse.
Cullen Gillespie.
Tom's Road, thank you, buddy. He says, would you trade the Bears first or Laramie Tunsil?
I don't think Laramie Tunsil's getting traded, right? Didn't he just get traded?
I don't know. But hypothetically,
look at his contract.
He's a left tackle, though. I mean, we kind of have our left tackle.
And he gets he's getting $22 million a year. I don't see, where you're gonna free those funds.
I would rather just draft Tyler Linderbaum and then let the chips spoil where they may with the Bears pick or our pick, whoever's picking last. I would see a lot of mock drafts having Tyler Linderbaum come here. But Tom, the thing with me is if we traded for Laramie Tunsil that first round pick or kept it, I want two linemen. I have, you guys know me. I'm a defensive guy. I love defense. But I want two offensive linemen, the first two picks.
Baddog's come to the dark side.
I know it's on the dark side, Chris. I'm not going to dream about the Hogs like you. But I want to listen. Daniel Jones is coming back here next year. There's no doubt about that. Okay, whether you like him, whether you love him, whether you can't stand him, whether you're kind of on the fence with him, whatever you think about Daniel Jones, he's coming back here next year. We're not taking a quarterback. That'd be really stupid if we did that. Okay, so give him the best offensive line he can possibly have. Let's know what he's for, and then you can pick up the 50-year option if you choose. And if you have a good offensive line and he still isn't getting it done, and you don't think that he's the guy, like we talk about all the time, Chris, then you draft the quarterback. But the quarterback has the offensive line for him. You don't want to bring in a rookie quarterback with a crappy offensive line because then you have all these questions.
Set him up for success. This draft should be. Even if you don't feel that Daniel Jones is the guy, this upcoming draft should be to set up the next quarterback.
Correct.
And you get a 4-year window when you draft a quarterback to a rookie salary to try to win a Super Bowl. That's basically the way the NFL works now. That's your optimal opportunity to win a Super Bowl when the quarterback is on the rookie deal. You want to set that quarterback up as best as you possibly can. The Giants have that opportunity this year now with 2 early draft picks. I'm with you, man. Now I'm not going to say like if Kayvon Thibodeau falls in our lap, yeah, you probably take him. Most people feel he's the best player in this year's draft.
Mm-hmm.
Hutchinson's another guy that a lot of people talk about. If you're enamored with an edge rusher, it's certainly a need of ours. You take him, but the Giants need to heavily focus on the offensive line. And if they take 2 offensive linemen with their first 2 picks, I'm not going to bat an eye. Nope. I know it's not sexy. I know it's not exciting, but that's what wins football games. That's how you start to build your football team. Yeah. You have to be able to block to do anything in the NFL.
That's right. If you want your quarterback to be effective, unless he's an elite guy, and finding an elite guy is hard. Finding a franchise quarterback is hard. So you need a good offensive line. Joey G, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Are we 2 offensive linemen and 1 edge rusher away to be good? Well, there you go. We're just talking.
It's hard for me to say, Joey. It would definitely help. Yeah. And the thing I'll say, Joey, is the other thing is we can't, you got to think back to Andrew Thomas when we drafted him. It didn't just click right away. Right. And he's had some injury problems. So even if we draft Tyler Linderbaum and we draft Evan Neal or insert tackle here in the first round, you can't just assume that these guys are going to just step in and be elite offensive linemen. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take some time to gel, with the other members on the line. So I don't expect it to be an unbelievable unit right away, even if they draft 2 first-round offensive linemen in 2022. I think it'll obviously get progressively better, but you have to start somewhere, and you have to start, building this offensive line, man. We need to start thinking long-term, and I think when you take linemen, you're thinking long-term. But to answer your question, I think obviously if you get a high-impact edge rusher and you get 2 impact offensive linemen, it's certainly going to make us a much better football team.
Yeah, if we go 2 offensive linemen in the first 2 picks, think about it. Andrew Thomas will be in his 3rd year, so you got your left tackle. You would have a center in Linderbaum. If Nick Gates comes back play, you'd have your right guard because you would move back to his position. You draft a right tackle. You can put Evan Neal over there or whatever. Your offensive line would be young, very young. And like Dallas's was. And when Dallas started building their team and they got better, they did it with Travis Frederick. They did it with Tyron Smith. They did it with Zach Martin, who I freaking love Zach Martin.
And
the Giants draft Zach Martin. I also wanted the Giants to draft Andrews Pete in one of those drafts. I think it was a year that they took Odell Beckham. I wanted Andrews Pete. I think he plays for the Saints. He's been really good too. So the Giants have needed linemen for
ever.
Yeah, 10 years. 10 years. It's no coincidence, guys, that we've been bad for 10 years and we neglected the offensive line for 10 years. That's no coincidence. Yeah. I know they drafted Justin Pugh in 2013 and they drafted Richburg, and Richburg was okay and Pugh was okay, but they didn't continue to build it. So they tried with Flowers. That was a disaster. Just none of it worked.
That's something, Baddog, that you never stop addressing.
Right.
You could never have, and I'm not saying you take first-round linemen, but you never stop addressing that. You always want to bring new depth to the offensive line. There's tons of injuries that happen there, and it's the most important unit on a football team. That's something that you need to continue to do. And when the Giants have tried to address it, like you said, a lot of them have been misses. Justin Pugh was pretty good, but probably wasn't worth that pick, and of course had injury problems.
Right. Yeah.
Richburg was good. It was definitely a solid pick. Eric Flowers, complete bust. Jeff Schwartz, who we signed in free agency, which really was the only notable free agent on the offensive line that Jerry signed after our second Super Bowl, was atrocious. And obviously Nate Solder's been a bust. Like, when they've tried to address it, it hasn't worked.
Yeah. I need Kyle Pitts to get me a touchdown for my fantasy football team here. John Schmidt, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, Judge saying the best players are going to play no matter what, and still trotting Solder out there every week is pissing on me and pissing. I think he means pissing on my leg and telling me it's raining, or pissing on me telling me it's raining. Is Matt Parrott better than Solder though?
I don't know. That's the scary thing.
Have anybody better than Solder?
I mean, at this point, I'd like to at least see Matt Parrott get the opportunity. But what I will say, Baddog, is, and I'm not an offensive line expert, but when I watch the games and I call the games, Matt Parrott's not impressing me.
No.
Matt Parrott's certainly not impressing me. You know, on the fumble that Jones had, which I think I fairly put at least equal the amount of blame on Jones as I did on Parrott, because Jones had about 3 seconds to step up in the pocket. Should have done a good job feeling the pressure. But on that play, Matt Parrott got completely destroyed. Yeah. Parrott's been bad, man. And the fact that Parrott couldn't beat out Nate Solder in training camp tells you all you need to know.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying is Solder really, that's how bad our offensive line is. That's how bad it is, you know. Double A, thank you for the super chat. Brilly, sir. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Hold on, Adam.
Tutto, grazie again, grazie. Says NFL's best defensive end will get lost in our dust. Keep in mind, rugby is a full contact, and we don't have any unnecessary roughness or chop blocking rules, and no pads or body protection. Tuto should be the linebacker coach, and if they get out of hand, Joe Judge makes them lap. I got a better idea. So this is what we're going to do from now on. Instead of running laps, they have to stand there and let Tuto hit them. I bet you they won't commit any penalties anymore. They have to stand there like the sled. You know, when they go up and they push the sled up, they got to let Tuto hit them like that. I bet you that stops.
That's a good idea.
We just might not have any players left. But all our players get hurt anyway. So you really got nothing to lose if you think about it. You're a Giants fan. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. You're the man. It's been 12 years investing in this O-line. I'm done talking about it. I'm not a fan that wants the new toy to be another quarterback of this offensive line. To those who want that, wake up. It all starts up front.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in complete agreement with you. And you know what it is, man? I think a lot of fans look around and they see the Cardinals take Kyler Murray, and they're like, well, look, they fixed it right away. They didn't have a great offensive line, or they see this or they see that for Justin Herbert. But even the Chargers aren't even playing that well. I think they're 5-5, and they had a losing record last year. But yeah, of course, if you get a diamond in the rough quarterback, it could make it better. But shouldn't the goal of a football team to make the situation as good as possible, regardless of who your quarterback is?
Yeah, wouldn't you want a great offensive line in front of a guy like Kyler Murray?
Exactly. You want to maximize your potential no matter who the quarterback is. And I think the New York Giants need to do that. I mean, I've been saying that since I've been on YouTube. They still haven't done it. It's why I was ecstatic when we took Andrew Thomas, but they need to continue to do it this offseason, especially because they neglected it in this year's draft.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, we got 420 people in here. 420 crew, you know what to do. Crew, smoke them because you got them. 420 people in chat. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button if you haven't. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you're new. More importantly, go into that description. Link to the Entertainment Talking Sports there. Make sure you sub them up. We'll be on this channel Monday night for the Bucs and the Giants, but next week we'll be on his channel. Well, we'll be on his channel for the Talkin' Giants show. He'll be at the game, so that'll be me solo for the Eagles. But we will be back. I think they play. Who do they play after that? Miami.
Yeah, Miami or the Chargers. I don't remember.
Whatever the hell it is. We'll be on his channel after the Eagles game. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And thank you guys and girls for being here. I appreciate it. 420 in the crew. That's where it goes. VT Jake, thank you, buddy. He says we beat the Bucs in 18, and in 2019 we lost by 2 points last year against Brady's Bucs. Lost to Kansas City. Yeah, we own Jameis Winston. That's one thing I'll say. We beat the hell out of Jameis Winston every time, don't we? Daniel Jones beats him. Lost Kansas City by 3, not buying a blowout Monday. Defense is starting to look like last year's. Yeah, Chris and I talked about at the beginning. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it'll be a close game, too.
I'm picking the Bucs VT, but I do think now maybe the Bucs get a late touchdown and they win by 10 or 11. But I think the Giants will be in contention throughout the majority of the game. I'm with you on that. I think the defense keeps us in the game.
I guess the Falcons didn't get. I thought they made that 4th down. I guess they didn't. John Kim, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, I just need the Giants to address the offensive line and linebacker. Well, there is a great linebacker that plays for Georgia, probably going to win the Bucs award. That's Nakobe Dean. So if things follow suit, we take a Bulldog.
What's the name of the D tackle again on Georgia?
Jordan Davis.
Oh my God, he's 26 years old though, but that guy's a monster.
He is. He is a monster. But Nakobe Dean's no joke. That guy can freaking play. If we're going to take a linebacker, there you go. Then listen, we take a Georgia Bulldog every year. It might be him. Who knows? Blake, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. He says, how do teams like the Pats find Pro Bowl talent in the 5th round, owner? Or do they have a better eye for talent? Or can they just develop it quickly? Scouting department's better. Honestly, yeah. I think that's what it is. Those deep round, the guys that find the deep round talent have better scouting departments. The Giants scouting department has been lackluster, to say the least.
And I think it has just as much to do because what I will say about the Patriots, at least in recent years, they haven't had the most successful drafts, at least in the earlier rounds. But I think the coaching has as much to do with it as anything. I mean, you're talking about Bill Belichick. I mean, you look at what he's been able to get out of some of these guys. Like Wes Welker's a perfect example. He was a nobody with Miami. He comes to the Patriots. He's a superstar. Same thing with Woodhead, right? Woodhead was nothing with the Jets. Couldn't even make the practice squad. He comes to the Patriots. He becomes a near Pro Bowl running back. So I just feel like Belichick's the type of guy that maximizes the talent on his football team. And I think another thing us as Giants fans need to realize is when we talk about how the foundation, the offensive line, so on and so forth, our players, at least the quarterback, the running backs, the wide receivers, they don't look as good here as they would in other spots. If you put Saquon Barkley on the Patriots, you put Daniel Jones on the Patriots, they're going to look a lot better than they do with the New York Giants because the Patriots are built properly.
Correct. Richard, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, the Knicks got me mad. Now the Giants must win. Must win. I don't know what that says. No.
65-year-old Giant fan, lots of pain over the years.
Yes. Yeah, that's a fact. Richard, if you've been a fan for 65 years and you've lived through the awful years of the middle 60s through early 80s, like 64 to 1980, this team was a joke. And I didn't live that because, again, I was born in 76, which was one of the worst Giants team of all time. But I don't remember that. By the time I was able to know what the Giants were and understand it, they were good. They were in the playoffs in 84, 85, won a Super Bowl in 86. So I was spoiled as a kid. I never lived through dark times like you, Richard, or some other guys that are a little bit older than me that lived through the 60s and 70s, like my dad would have. You know, my dad, God rest his soul, he lived through the bad times. He was born in 1954, and he started watching the Giants, I think, about 1963, which was the last time they were in a championship, and they lost, and they were terrible for many years until the NFL made them bring in George Young, and then things changed. So I know, Richard, it's and especially being a Knicks fan. I mean, the Knicks have never won anything in my lifetime. The Knicks haven't won anything since 1973, and they are better than they've been over the 15 years before 2021 season, like last season. Just awful. I mean, unwatchable. At least they fight now. I didn't get to see the game.
The game last night was pathetic.
I don't know how the hell they lose. I listen. I do the Laker games. And the Magic have beat the Knicks twice. I just sit there and go, the Oklahoma City Thunder are to the Lakers what the Magic are to the Knicks.
18 turnovers. 18 turnovers last night by the Knicks.
That's the Knicks are usually pretty good about not turning the ball. I don't want to get on the subject of the Knicks, but the starting five is awful.
Pathetic.
What the hell happened to the defense of the Knicks?
Kemba Walker is horrible. Evan Fournier's been horrible. Julius Randle's
nothing this year.
Been a shell of himself from last year. The Knicks starting five. The bench is great. They're the only reason we stay in these games, but the starting five has been awful.
It is. I think it's time for Thibodeau to mix it up a little bit. Garrett
I see people correcting my mistake. I said, okay, that was a different. Yeah, because Russ, that's my mistake. I didn't look into that. I think somebody in my Discord or on Twitter told me that it's a different Jordan Davis who's 26. Okay, my mistake. So that guy's an animal, though, on Georgia. He's a beast.
He is. Nikki, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. He says, Parrott is 10 times better than Solder. He's playing underrated ball. He's definitely better than he was last year. Fans need to calm down and remember he was as developmental gets. And I mean,
I mean, I think
listen, I'm not an offensive line juggernaut. Like, I don't really know what I don't, like Chris said, I haven't seen anything that makes Matt Peart jump off the page at me. Maybe I'm missing something. But the thing is, developmental pick or not, you got to perform. And really, nobody in this offensive line outside of Andrew Thomas has looked good, in my opinion. Nobody. Billy Price is god awful. Will Hernandez is no good. I don't think Peart or Solder's been very good. I think Thomas has been the guy so far.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Nikki, that Peart's definitely a developmental player. But what I'll say about Peart is he is not stopping me from drafting another tackle. That's what I'll say about Matt Peart. If he ends up being my swing tackle, the 99th pick overall, I'm completely fine with that. But I'm with you in the sense that I want to see him out there over Nate Solder. Like, I was okay with it the first 2 or 3 weeks. I was like, okay, they don't feel Peart's ready. They want they want Solder out there. They want to be able to protect their quarterback as best they can. But at this point, we're 10 games into the season. It's time to see Matt Peart out there.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's time to see what you got in him. Why did you not address the offensive line if you were sold on Peart, Lemieux, and Thomas?
He literally said it was because they want the young guys to play.
Right, so he should be getting the time. I agree. Solder, and he's coming back here next year. So at this point, what the hell's the difference? You're not going to have him over there. So you might as well play Matt Peart and see what you have, and then decide if you want to address that side of the line or not in the draft.
Yeah.
You know? Simon, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, if Judge gets canned by the end of the season, I want Graham at head coach. The creative-minded offense coordinator controlling the entire offense. Defense is our identity. That's Giants football. What we did to the Raiders, that's Giants football. Defense and running the ball.
What I'll say to that, though, Baddog, and I understand where Simon's coming from, and I think Patrick Graham has done a really good job, especially the last 4 or 5 games with the defense, and he's a smart guy, and I think he could be a really good head coach. First off, I don't think Joe Judge is getting canned. I think Joe Judge is going to be back here next year.
Yeah.
Unless we only win like 4 games, which I don't think is going to happen. I think we're going to end up winning 6 or 7, and he's going to be back with the football team for another year. But if we were to fire Judge, I don't see Patrick Graham taking the job. Patrick Graham is best friends with Joe Judge.
Yeah.
He's his assistant head coach, so I just don't see that. It's kind of like the Pat Shurmur thing. When we fired Pat Shurmur, people were like, can we keep him on as the offensive coordinator because we don't want him to change the scheme? Yeah, it's a great thought, but it's not reality. It's not going to happen.
I agree. Jeremiah, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Listen, look at this guy. He says, go Bucs. Oops, wrong stream. No, it wasn't. Love you, buddy.
What's up, Jeremiah?
What's going on, Jeremiah? Roldy, thank you for coming back to the Dog Pound, my man. Good to see you. Roldy, welcome back to the Dog Pound. Dog Pound members, welcome Roldy back into the Dog Pound. Let's go.
Is that a Lakers jersey on Roldy? He's had that profile picture forever. I've seen him in Knicks jersey. You got a Lakers jersey? What's that, Roldy?
Buy a Kobe. Listen, I wear a Kobe jersey.
You do.
And unless Dyer Giants fan bought those for me, I'm wearing it.
No, I just know it because he's always shown me his Knicks jersey. It looks like a Lakers jersey in the picture.
Hey, listen. When I was a kid, I collected all the jerseys from Champion Outlet for like $5 a piece. I bought my favorite player from every team. Every team. Yeah. I remember having the Penny Hardaway back in the day. That's right. Penny. Good big dog Glenn Robinson had that one. Had the Allen Houston Pistons jersey.
You had Glenn Robinson, huh?
Yeah, big dog. Oh God,
number 1 overall pick.
Supposed to be great, wasn't?
He was good.
He was good. He wasn't.
He wasn't better than Jason Kidd, who he went over, and Grant Hill, who I think went 3rd in that draft.
Yeah, pretty good. T. Gerardo, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Brady fears us. If we win, it signals his downfall. Yes or no? I don't know if it's his downfall. He has not been. He's fallen off a little bit this year. He definitely can have good games. Don't get me wrong, but he's doing a lot of interceptions for Tom Brady this year. So, like Chris said, he thinks we're going to get a turnover too. I can see it. I don't know if I would say it's his downfall though.
The funny thing is, Baddog, and I agree, especially the last like 3 games, he hasn't looked himself. Mm-hmm. But Tom Brady right now this year has his highest QB rating since 2016, and he's got 27 touchdowns.
That's
so
insane. How many
he's turning the ball
like 10
over.
picks?
He's got 7 picks. 27 touchdowns, 7 picks. He has his highest completion percentage since 2007.
Maybe it's when I watch him, he's not good.
No. His last 3 weeks or so, he hasn't been good. But
one more bad one.
He's still on pace for like 50 touchdowns. So he's still good. He's still good.
Brady, you know I love you, buddy, but you got to have a bad game. You got a bad game. That ain't going to hurt you. Have a bad one. Why don't you just sit out? Take a break. You're old. I'm old. We're the same age, Tom. Just sit down.
Rest up for the playoffs.
Relax. You got to make a run at another Super Bowl.
Rest up.
You don't need this game. This ain't important to you.
Yeah.
Independent outsider, thank you, buddy. He says, I know it's way too early, but to the best of your knowledge, does this college draft look to be more of a defensive line or offensive line draft? I haven't really looked at it. There's 2 offensive linemen that I really like, and then there's Thibodeau from Oregon, and those are like Evan Neal. And
there's a lot. I mean, and like you said, I haven't done a ton of research yet on it, but I've done a little bit, and there's a lot of offensive linemen that are being mocked in like the top 15. So to me, it's at least on paper, from what the mocks are saying, at least in the top end of the draft, seems to be pretty offensive line heavy. Like I'm looking at it now, they got Evan Neal going 6. They've got let's see. Actually, they got a lot of DNs going too. There's a lot of good DNs in this class, for sure. So I would say it's pretty even. The DNs and offensive linemen seem to make up the majority of the first half of the first round.
Robert, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, 1 MetLife Stadium Drive, East Rutherford, New Jersey, 07073, Amazon Prime. Ordered a right tackle and a versatile guard, free shipping, Monday availability. Let's go. I hope, Amazon Prime, you should get it like within a couple of days. No doubt about it. I have Amazon Prime, and usually stuff gets here pretty
Amazon Prime is excellent. It's great.
It really is, yeah. Jeff Bezos loves you. Jeff Bezos loves my wife. Every day. Listen, you know how many packages my wife gets from Amazon a day? Now, granted, Christmas is here. Every day I come home. I pick my son up from preschool today. I said, hey, buddy, how much you want? I said, I bet you mommy has packages. I pull into the driveway. He looks at me, he goes, are you kidding me? 4. 4. He knows that. Blake, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, what's the correct way to fix the Giants? Whole new coaching staff, new quarterback, and franchise players. We have the talent, but we can never put it together. I'm with Chris. Offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, Blake, to me, it starts with the line. It's always going to start with and there's the thing is, what if Baddog? We've talked about it now countless times, but like you said, it's been 10 or 12 years. We've had 4 new head coaches now since 2015. That hasn't fixed the problem. We're probably going on our 3rd GM since 2015. That hasn't fixed the problem. What's been the consistency? We have not had a good offensive line in 10 to 12 years. Yes. Now, there's definitely other variables for sure. Joe Judge has not done a great job this year. Our quarterback could be better. We've had injuries, but the offensive line to me has been the one constant that has not improved. So that's where it starts for me. You got to get that fixed before you look at the best teams in the league. Yes, you're going to have outliers on a year-to-year basis, but the teams that remain consistent year in and year out, they have strong offensive lines. Yeah. And that's why the Steelers are always competitive, even though their offensive line isn't so good this year. But historically speaking, they usually have it. The Cowboys
do the same thing. The Patriots
usually New England, so you have to have a good line.
Demons Row, my man. Sos the Ghost. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Says, I'm still waiting on the Chris and the Baddog podcast. I'm not going to lie, Chris. I actually looked into podcast stuff.
Okay.
I got to do more research on it, but I actually did look into it to see how to get started on. But I want to do more research on it. So I really did look at that. He says, I believe Carl Banks as a head coach could rise us back to the top. Can you really believe he's not better than Joe Judge? You know what I heard, Demons Row, is that, by the way, if you guys, especially, I'm not a biker at all. Like, I'm not a motorcycle guy, but that guy has a great channel. If you guys
he's got the check mark, right? I see him in the chat sometimes. He's got a check. He's got a lot
yes. If you guys are into like motorcycles and stuff, like biking and all that, you got to check out his channel. It's amazing. And he had a thing where they were like doing some for like underprivileged kids. I'm like, that's freaking awesome. Watching like they do stuff for, to give back to the community and stuff. That's a great channel. So if you guys, like I said, especially even if you're not, into motorcycles and stuff, I'm not, but I love that channel. But if you are, you love motorcycles and stuff, check him out. I mean, he's awesome. Great content. And I'm going to tell you this, he might be able to play offensive line. That's a big dude. He's a big guy. How I don't know how big because I'm behind in the chat. I ask him how big. That's a big guy. He's a big dude.
Well, let's talk about that after. I'm definitely interested in maybe doing a podcast. We'll talk about it.
Without
I like the idea.
But what I was going to say is I've heard a lot about Carl Banks being the GM. Like everybody wants Carl Banks to be the GM. I don't know. I mean, I could see Carl Banks at some point maybe making a move out of the radio booth under the sideline for the Giants, but I don't know in what capacity. But I know he's a very popular name amongst the Giants fans in the organization.
Yeah, Carl Banks is a guy that always comes up in my streams too when people talk about the general manager or the coach or whatever. I'm not really in favor of that because we always talk about how we want, and I have nothing against Carl Banks, but we always talk about how we want Mara to bring in an outsider. We don't, he's too comfortable with the people that he knows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think I would be in love with Carl Banks. I think I want somebody with no ties to the organization at all. Bring in somebody from the outside. Try something different, man.
Yeah, I agree. John, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Do you think Slade will get traded on draft night? I don't think so. I don't know what we would get for him.
Yeah, I know that there were rumors that the Giants were potentially looking at deal Slayton at the deadline, and they didn't end up doing it. But even though I'm not in love with Slayton, like Slayton's not that good, whatever, I'm not looking to trade the guy. He makes nothing. So I get to keep a guy on the roster as a third or fourth wide receiver who makes like $800,000 a year because he's a former 5th round pick or whatever he makes. I don't really see the incentive to trade Slayton. I would sooner try to trade somebody that could alleviate some pressure on the salary cap. So I don't know, man. I don't really see the incentive to trade Slayton unless you're going to get a pretty good draft compensation, which I don't think that you would get.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think they'd keep him because he doesn't cost anything. We have no cap space either. I mean, I don't know what you're going to get for him. You might get a late pick, and he was a 5th round pick. So
make sure I charge my computer. I don't want it to die here.
Duran, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, if the Giants are eliminated from playoff contention, do they activate Isaiah Wilson to start a right tackle a week till next season? Well, I heard that he's been practicing, and Andrew Thomas says that he's they played at Georgia together. So he's talking about how he's done a good job and he's trying to lose weight to get in football shape. And Joe Judge said it probably is maybe at the end of the year. Like, it doesn't look like he's getting in the lineup anytime soon, but Joe Judge projects him as a guy looking into the future. So if it's me, Duran, and I'm just going by what Joe Judge has said, I would imagine it'll be next year, maybe at the very end of the year. If we're out of it, maybe he gets a start. But I think he's more of a next year a guy. Maybe he can fight for a position next year, depending on what they do in the draft. I mean, who knows?
But what I have heard, Baddog, about Isaiah Wilson, they haven't been playing him at tackle. They've been playing him at guard.
Guard, yes.
Yeah, so that's interesting, right? And maybe that's the plan, or because they know they're probably not bringing back Hernandez. Maybe that's the plan. They want to see what Wilson's got at the guard before the end of the year to see if he could potentially – at least contend to be a starting guard for the Giants in 2022. But I don't think he played tackle. I think he played guard.
Yeah. Adam, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Did the Giants win the Leonard Williams trade? I think they did. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, who did the Jets end up getting with those picks? Now, I definitely understand Giants fans' perspectives that still say, why did we make the trade? But what I will say, Baddog, is if you don't make the trade, there's no guarantees you're going to be able to sign him. And by trading for him, it gave the Giants the option to franchise tag him for 1 year and keep him on here. And they didn't know if he was going to be part of the long-term plans, whatever. It was definitely a questionable trade when they made it. But we gave up a 3rd and a 5th round pick. I mean, more often than not, those don't pan out. And at the end of the day, he's got as many sacks as Aaron Donald does over the last 2 years. So he's been a very good player for the Giants. So, yeah, I would say we did win the trade. Now, Jets fans will tell you that he wasn't performing here. We needed to get rid of him, and I'm sure that was the truth, and they were happy when they were able to trade him because they knew he wasn't going to be back. So I think it was kind of a win-win trade for both teams because he wasn't going to be back with the Jets anyway. They were able to get something for him, but he's definitely performed very well for the Giants since they've acquired him. You could definitely argue with the contract extension, but I do think the Giants won the trade.
Yeah, I do too. Nikki, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, Chris, we got a link for a stream soon. I'm about to hit 1,100 on TikTok for Fireside Giants. It's unreal. Also, I'm happy I have the Pats D tonight.
Yeah, Nikki. Maybe I'll have you on this week. I'm gonna have a Monday live stream the day of the game, but that'll probably just be me talking to you guys. Maybe Sunday night, like the night before. Maybe I'll do something. Maybe I'll have you and a couple of people on. I'll reach out to you on Twitter.
Richard, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, my man. He says, why New York sports teams never win? We got all that money. Well, the Yankees did. But I think part of the thing, Richard, with the money, the Knicks and the Giants deal with salary caps. So you can't always go – you could, but they don't. And
Well, basketball, I don't think you can, right? You can't go for salary
you
cap.
can. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
But I don't think they do.
Well, with like
I
maybe
mean,
like
listen, all I'd say to that is bad drafting. You can't just you can't buy championships, right? The Yankees and ever since the Yankees really started trying to buy outside of 2009, they try to bring all these high price free agents in. They never win anything. But when they won their championships in the late 90s, it was all the farm players. It was the Jeters and the Marianos and the Pettits and the Posadas and the Bernie Williams. I mean, all these guys came up through the system and they kept them. The difference between the Yankees and a lot of other teams is the Yankees could pay their farm system players when they hit free agency. But those guys were all great. Those guys were all drafted by the Yankees, and then they added a couple pieces and a couple pieces there. Then they started going out and buying Messinas and Giambis and Randy Johnsons, and it just fell apart. And they still do that with Garrett Cole, and they picked up Giancarlo Stanton. They picked up a lot of his contract, and they're going to have to pay Aaron Judge. And I'm talking about going out and buying a $200 million shortstop. So bad drafting is why we don't win, Richard. That would be my answer.
That's the best answer. I mean, like you said, the only sport where the amount of money a team has that really impacts it on a mass level is baseball. And and the Mets have only stepped up to the big boy table this year, so we'll see how they improve with Cohen as their owner. But outside of that, I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, I think the Knicks up until the last 3 or 4 years were always trying to take the shortcuts and giving away draft picks for older veterans.
Yes. Like Melo, they gave up how many picks for Melo?
Melo, Andrea Bargnani, Zach Randolph. You go down the list. So
Eddie Curry.
Yeah. So Eddie Curry. Yeah. I mean, Stephon Marbury. So they always tried to take shortcuts, and they didn't build the team the right way. And I think it's the same thing for the Giants. Not that they've necessarily tried to take shortcuts, but I think they have not built the team properly. They have not drafted well. They have not focused on the things that they needed to primarily focus on to build their team the proper way. So I think a lot of it some of it probably goes back to the fact that they play in New York and they know that there's a lot of pressure to win every single year. So it's the old saying, I remember hearing it when I was a kid growing up, it's impossible to rebuild in New York because the fans are so demanding and they're not willing to sit through 3 or 4 years of poor play, which a lot of times that's what it's going to take. That's what it's taken now with the Knicks as they're starting to turn the corner. The Giants, unfortunately, the rebuild doesn't look like it's been working out, but I think some of it definitely has to do with the fact that they play in New York. There's a lot of pressure to win on a yearly basis, but they just haven't built their teams the right way.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Tutto, grazie. This is my rookie year. Our entire team decided to have a brother-to-brother on and off the field relationship has been a major key for us to win games. There's a pick six. So whoever just said they had the Patriots defense, you're loving life. Pick six.
That's good for the Giants, by the way. Falcons, someone that gets closer for that wild card.
But yeah, I think that's a very underrated aspect of any team is the relationships that they have with each other. You like each other, you're going to want to play for each other, you're going to have each other's backs, and if you have a good team chemistry, you're going to be united, you're going to play a lot better. If you have a lot of dissension in your locker room and you got some guys that are off the chain, they usually, especially with the Giants, they end up out of here. Jeremy Shockey ended up out of here, even though he was really good. Odell Beckham, not that it seemed like he was a locker room problem, it seemed like the team loved him, but he obviously said some things in the media. His antics on the field, it kind of got him out of here as well. So that's a very underrated aspect is having a team that really likes one another genuinely and they play for one another. You're going to be a much better team. And you know what? Winning helps that. So you're not going to point fingers when you're, 8-2 as opposed to 4-6.
Of course.
Blake, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. My man, he says, say we win 6 or 7 games. Is there any benefit of moving on from Jason Garrett for a more vertical-minded offensive coordinator, or would it inevitably hurt DJ's progression? I don't think anything can hurt DJ's progression at this point.
It's a good question, though, because he'd be switching schemes again. But here's the thing, man. I don't even think that Garrett is – I don't even think that – because if you look at what the type of scheme that Garrett wants to run, I don't think he's inclined not to try to have a vertical offense. I think it's because he's not really imaginative. He doesn't scheme guys open. For him to be able to throw the ball deep, he's got to have great blocking on an offensive line. So I don't think it's like Garrett's goal each and every week not to try to throw the ball down the field. It's that he knows he can't trust his offensive line, and he's not the most imaginative offensive play caller to be able to scheme guys open quickly So that's what I'll say about that. But as far as Garrett goes, I think he's gone at the end of the year regardless. And it can't get much worse. I mean, this offense has been stagnant the last 2 years. I thought, I think now in hindsight, I didn't hate the Garrett move when the Giants made it because I thought it made some sense. Judge, had no history of being a head coach. You brought in a guy with some, obviously some experience that could show him the ropes. But in terms of the scheme that he wanted to run, it just never really fit the personnel on this football team. They would have been much better going after a guy in a like a West Coast style offense, similar to that of a Pat Shermer. So it just didn't fit the team, man.
Right. Jared, Giants fan, thank you, buddy. Appreciate your answers. With everything included, what's the common denominator? You want Mara's son running the show after John, especially with him already scouting? For me, no.
No, definitely not, man. No. People have been going after that for a whole year now with Chris Mara. No, for sure, man. That's definitely a problem, man. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I always love this type of shit. Alex, Baddog never looks at his chat. Tainah's in his channel. No, I don't look at my chat. You're right. I didn't just see your comment. I never look at my chat. I look at my chat all the time. But thanks for stopping in today. I just love people that spread bullshit. That's my favorite thing about the internet. It's just people that make up crap. I love that. I love that to a T.
I think we're both.
You know, it's great. To be honest with you, this type of thing, as trivial as it is called libelous. When you make a statement, and this is verbal, it's written, it's a written statement that could hurt my product. This is something that could get you sued. Do not at any time say stuff without facts. That's a fact. So knock it off. Don't say stupid shit like that. I look at my chat all the time. Knock it off. Just because I can't read 6,000 comments, my fault, and we're talking back and forth. So yeah. It's hard to do everything at once. But you know what? If you can do a better job, go ahead. YouTube's free. Start your own channel, start your own show, and do way better than me, because I'm sure you can. Nikki, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, Baddog, I got that sweatshirt. Damn right, baby. So damn comfy. How are you feeling about OU versus Breece Hall and Iowa State? Not good. I'm only looking at edge and inside offensive line, Linderbaum first round.
Yeah, Nikki, I'm with you.
I don't think Oklahoma's winning another game the rest of the year, Nikki. To be honest.
They lost, man. Who did they lose to? I forgot.
Baylor. They got blown out.
Yeah, so they're done now, right? They're out of the playoffs, right?
Yeah, they're not. Even if they win out, they're not making it. The Big Ten's going to make it. I think Alabama could get knocked out if Georgia wins, but I think you're going to see Ohio State. If Oregon wins out, they're in. If Cincinnati wins out, they're in. I think Georgia's in no matter what at this point. They could lose to Alabama in the SEC championship game, and Georgia's still in. So.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. You think Alabama gets in with 2 losses?
No, Alabama's not getting in with 2 losses.
If they lose to Georgia, you
don't get it. No. Okay. Ohio State, the Big Ten champion, so let's say a one-loss Big Ten champion, whether that's Michigan State, Ohio State, they're in. Cincinnati goes undefeated, they're in. So Oregon. I think that's what would happen.
Oregon and Georgia.
Oregon, Georgia, Big Ten champion. And undefeated Cincinnati. Now, if Oregon loses, then maybe
I'm looking at it, Baddog, and I'm a casual college football fan. I'm a Notre Dame fan. I'm casual, but if Cincinnati were to lose, and there might be a way for Notre Dame to sneak in if Cincinnati were to lose. Right now, they're ranked 8th in the college football playoff rankings. Might be a chance.
They could. I mean, but you never know.
Yeah, they play a soft schedule. They're probably not.
I mean, if Oklahoma State wins out and beats Oklahoma, well, I don't think Oklahoma will be playing in the Big 12 championship if they lost to Oklahoma State. But if Oklahoma State wins the Big 12 with 1 loss, they could also get in. They would probably get in over Notre Dame because they would have a much tougher opponent.
Right.
Because they have to beat Oklahoma and Baylor, and that would. So we'll see. It'll be very interesting. Somebody told me to calm down. No, I am calm. I just love that. I love when people tell me how to act. What do you mean calm down? That's calm. I'm not mad. It's just ridiculous. It's a ridiculous statement. I just saw a dire Giants fan call the guy out too, talking about celebrity boxing. I don't even know what the hell he's talking about.
I just want to read Mike's chat real quick because a lot of people have asked me this. He says, Chris, are the Mets a dumpster fire? And Baddog, I'm sure you heard about the Noah Syndergaard thing and Michael Conforto. And I don't blame the Mets at all for the Noah Syndergaard thing. The guy's been injured the last 2 years. He's coming off Tommy John surgery. and the Mets rather did what they were supposed to do. They offered him the qualifying offer, which is $18.4 million for 1 year, and he turned it down and never came back to them to try to negotiate, and he signed a 1-year deal with the Angels for $21 million. So to me, that just signifies that Syndergaard didn't want to be here, and I thought it would have been a mistake by the Mets to give him more than a 1-year commitment. They get a draft pick out of it. So I don't think anything the Mets did was wrong. I don't think it was a bad decision by the Mets. I'm going to miss Syndergaard. I love Syndergaard, but I actually think it was a good decision by the Mets not to fold to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't blame the Mets for that at all. How about Luis Rojas, the Yankee third base coach now?
I think it's a good pickup for you guys. Yeah. I didn't like him as a manager, but I like Luis Rojas. He's a good baseball guy, and he seems to be well respected by the players. I think it was a good pickup by the Yankees. I hope he does well. I like Luis Rojas.
Well, he can't do worse than Phil Nevin. I can tell you that. Man, Phil Nevin was terrible. BT, thank you, buddy. He says, Baddog, what new laptop did you got? I don't use a laptop. I use a desktop. He says, the camera sound is much improved. Looks sexy. Sounds great. I actually got the same exact computer that I had last time. I just got a regular, it's a 21.5. It's a Mac. It's just the one that I had before. I bought in 2009. So obviously the camera, the audio quality is going to be different. I mean, it still works. I just couldn't really stream on it. So I still kept it. But that thing lasted, 12, 13 years. And outside of just recently, I didn't have any problems. So if I could get 12 years out of this, I'll be very happy. Because computers are not cheap. TVs go down in price. A DVD player, all this stuff. Technology always goes down in price. Computers do not. Phones don't either. So,
no, they don't.
Yeah, that's what I got. I just got a regular.
Phones get smaller and more expensive.
What's that?
Phones get smaller and more expensive.
Yeah. Well, this was the same exact computer, but it's more than I paid for that one. Well, maybe they're about the same price. I paid $1,400 for this. Again, that was the money that I wanted to go to the Giants game. I was hoping I was doing everything I could to make that last through the year, and it just wouldn't do it. I got kicked out of StreamYard a bunch of times, and then I couldn't stream anything. I kept getting kicked out. I couldn't get back on. I couldn't connect to whatchamacallit, Google. I couldn't even get on the internet. So
yeah.
T, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says the Falcons look bad against Bill Belichick's Pats. That 70-year-old genius can grow a quarterback from the eye of a potato. And the Jets are a graveyard. Why? Again, it goes back to the scouting department. And like Chris said, the Patriots are built properly. The Jets aren't.
Yeah.
The Jets just aren't. It's funny. They were talking about a quarterback controversy, and then Mike White comes out and throws 4 interceptions.
I laughed at that.
Quarterback controversy.
Yeah, come on, dude. I know he looked good for like a game or two, but if you're going to draft Zach Wilson second overall, you got to expect bumps in the road, especially with a growing. I actually think the Jets are finally building their team the right way. I said that before the year started. I know Zach Wilson hasn't looked that good, but they're building the line. They definitely are. They drafted Becton, then this year they took Elijah Vera Tucker in the first round. So I think they're building their team the right way, but I still think they're at least a year or two away from being competitive. But to go back to your question, T, about the quarterback, yeah, it's exactly what the Patriots put their quarterbacks in the best position to succeed. And you could take Tom Brady out of the equation, and I'm not trying to discount Brady. Brady is fantastic. He's been fantastic since he left the Patriots.
Yep.
But look what Matt Castle did when he went out. He won 11 games. Matt Castle won 11-5 with Bill Belichick that year. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, went like 4-1 as a starting quarterback for the Patriots when Brady was suspended. So, and the same thing with what's his name, the guy that's now in the Dolphins. What's his name?
Who, the quarterback?
Yeah. Not Tua, the other guy.
Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett. He had like a 3-1 record with the Patriots. They set their quarterbacks up to succeed.
Yeah. Oh, Alex, that was not a you, buddy. That was not a you. I was just reading the comment. He's talking to you, but yeah, I know. I got no problem there. Robert, thank you, buddy. Chocolate or rainbow sprinkles? Chocolate sprinkles.
Yeah, I'm not a huge sprinkle guy, but if I was going to pick, I think if I get chocolate ice cream, I go chocolate sprinkles. If I go vanilla ice cream, I get rainbow sprinkles, but I don't normally get the sprinkles. But if I'm going to pick the sprinkles, I'll probably go rainbow because I prefer vanilla to chocolate.
Yeah. So do I. I usually go chocolate chip, which doesn't need sprinkles, and because it's hard. That's hard ice cream, so you don't put sprinkles on hard. You could if you want to make a sundae, but I usually I'm boring. I just like vanilla or chocolate chip. That's about it.
I'm the same. Those are my two favorite flavors as well. You can't go wrong with those.
No. Amir, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. There he is. Says good game to you and Chris for the Knicks and Magic game. Let's go Giants. Hopefully we can beat the Buccaneers. Well, if the Magic can upset the Knicks, maybe the Giants can upset the Bucs.
Yeah, I mean, if the Magic could beat the Knicks twice, the Giants definitely stand a chance against the Bucs. But yeah, Mirror Man, thanks for popping in, buddy, and congratulations, man. Your Magic still not good, but you guys are young, you're rebuilding, and you made the Knicks look bad.
Ponton, where did I get this hat? This is my gym hat. I couldn't find my black Giants hat. I don't know where this is. Yeah, but you can see this blood, sweat, and tears in this thing. I don't even remember. Trying to think, probably lids, maybe. My head is so damn small. I have to get hats that have straps in the back, like Velcro. I can't wear fitted hats. They don't fit my head.
Really?
Yeah, 6 and 7 eighths. Like the high brim don't fit because I have a peanut head. And I have a 9 out of 10 head, but it doesn't. They don't fit my head right. You know, the high brims don't look right. So I have a hard time. Like I need like the 3930, not the 5950 hats. Or those 47s, that's the Giants and the Yankees headers that I got. So I think I got it at Lids, but this hat's old. I've had this hat for a few years. Like I said, it's my gym hat. So Irish, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, my man. He says, get him and set this team up for failure. He's the reason we have no offensive line. Why DJ has no trust and protection. Fix the offensive line, and we will see a different Giants team. Gettleman has to go. Go Giants. Go Fighting Irish.
What's going on, my man? Yeah, I mean everything you said is fact. So, yeah, and the thing that I think pisses me off, and pretty much every Giants fan off, is that was his mission statement, was to fix the line, and that's why I was excited when we brought him in, because I loved what I heard. Because what you see on YouTube is what I was for the last 5 or 6 years before it was on YouTube, screaming about the offensive line every year and how it wasn't addressed. And when I heard Gettleman talk about it, I'm like, all right, I'm going to support this guy. I'm going to give this guy a fair opportunity, and I did, and he disappointed me just as much as he did everybody else. He did not fix the line at all.
Everything says Baddog likes vanilla like Dr. I do when it's ice cream, but it's funny because that's like the only dull thing I like, is everything else I eat is spicy. Like I put hot sauce in almost everything. I won't put hot sauce in steak. I don't put anything on steak. Steak is supposed to be.
You don't put steak sauce on steak?
Hell no. Just steak.
I sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
No, no, I don't dress anything up with a steak. But pork chops, pulled pork, chicken, hot sauce, rice, hot sauce, tacos, hot sauce, anything I put a hot sauce on, I put hot sauce on pretty much. So I do like to spice up my food, or cayenne pepper or something. I like even spaghetti. I'll spring a little cayenne pepper in my spaghetti sauce. I just like hot stuff. But yeah, as far as ice cream goes, I'm very, very vanilla. My man Jeremiah. I see Dire Giants fan. I know Dire Giants fans in that chat. Dire Giants fan and Jeremiah both got kick-ass beards. Look at that.
Oh, beard. I thought you said
beard. Yeah, the beards.
Like, that is a good-looking beard. There's no doubt about
beards.
it. Yeah. I wonder how long do you think that would take for me to grow a beard like that?
Week and a half. By the way, if Mr. Entertainer's out there, I do need to shave. No, I don't know. I wonder how long it takes. Dire Giants actually said to me, he goes, Baddog, can I borrow some of the Italian blood? Because he goes, I'm sick of his beard doesn't grow anymore. It's like you hit a plateau. But yeah, probably
it's a good looking beard.
Couple 3 months, maybe.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, I'd probably say about 3 months for me to get something like that going.
He says, good God, the Giants stink. We lost to this hapless Atlanta team. I know we were talking about it before. It's crazy that we lost to this team. Josh Rosen about to make an appearance. Just saw the Kyle Pitts. Yeah, he's coming in. Matt Ryan fell off them. He stinks.
Oh, he's horrible.
He stinks. We do need to win, Alex. We need to win Monday night for sure. That's guaranteed. He says guaranteed Giants win. I hope you're right.
The Patriots, by the way, don't sleep on that team, man. They're now 7-4.
I know. They're right there. The Bills are only 6-3.
Mac Jones got to be the rookie of the year, right? Oh, no. Never mind. It's going to be the guy from Cincinnati, Jamar Chase. But Mac Jones has been awesome, man.
I don't know. Still a long ways to go. Quarterback usually gets the nod.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's falling off.
Yeah.
So, Johnny, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, Stella and
stand up, New York Giant fans. What's up? What's up, John?
You guys are the best. How can we be the best in the best? He says, fly Eagles right into the side of a building. With 4 running backs at our disposal, how dangerous can the Eagles be? We lost every good quarterback except Ryan is Gannon trash. Well, you can with 4 running backs, you can only give the ball to so many running backs. So I don't know how 4 running backs help you. But I definitely think Miles Sanders and Boston Scott are a good combo. And I mentioned it earlier, Johnny, much like the way we beat the Raiders, the offensive coordinator said, you know what, run the ball. Don't ask the quarterback to do too much and win the game. And that's what you guys have been doing. Jalen Hurts made good throws. He made some really bad throws against Denver, too. Like, Eagle fans like, oh, my God, he's great. He made some awful throws in that game. He's not good. But
who they playing
he's good enough that you can run the ball.
Yeah. Who are they playing this week, the Eagles?
The Saints.
If they win that game, I'll start to believe that maybe they're a decent team. If they win that game, I'll start to buy in a little bit to the Eagles. But yeah, I mean, they've been impressing me the last couple of weeks. They've definitely been better than I thought they would be. I'll say that right now about the Eagles. Yeah. And yeah, and like you said earlier, it's because they've been running the football.
Yeah. Prince, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. He says, if we get Evan Neal and develop Washington, who should they be looking at with the additional first-round pick? I like Tyler Linderbaum, Prince. I mean, I've been on the Tyler Linderbaum train for a while. There's another pick 6 of the Patriots. Who's got their defense coming?
Nicky's got him.
Nicky, you won this week.
But what's his question? He says, if we get Evan Neal and develop him, I'm assuming.
Right.
What does Washington have to do with anything? Washington, who should they be looking at with the additional first-round pick? Well, if you're asking who I think they should who they should take with the other first-round pick, I mean, it all depends on who's there, right? And but yeah, like Baddog said, I'm definitely not against doubling up and taking Tyler Linderbaum, the center out of Iowa. But I think it's either got to be an edge or an offensive lineman with the second pick. I definitely think you got to take at least one offensive lineman with one of the first 2 picks, and then either an edge or an offensive lineman, maybe a middle linebacker if you're in love with one, because that's certainly a need as well. But I would say either edge or offensive line.
Patriots missed 6 points. It's the only thing I did wrong tonight. Noah says hot sauce and women. I've done that. Okay.
You have? Good for you.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hot sauce is great. You can put it
I'm sorry. You meant Isaiah Wilson. I think his name is Prince.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's why I got confused. His name is Isaiah Wilson, into a starting alignment. Yeah, well, they're trying to develop him as a guard, not a tackle. So Neal would still make sense, and you could still take Linderbaum, who's a center.
Yes, I agree. I want the Giants to go offensive line. Ethan, thank you for becoming a member, sir. I appreciate it. Dog Pound members, welcome Ethan Ballandron to the Dog Pound. Let's go. Thank you, Ethan. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much, my man. Our Giants fan, thank you, brother. He says, for me, it's a half an inch a month. Damn straight, I killed have Italian blood. If Dire Giants man had Italian blood, his beard would be on the floor.
Maybe I should do a beard challenge one of these days. Not now, because I don't think I'd look good with a beard. But maybe one of these days I'll do a beard challenge to see how long it would take for me to actually grow one.
Here we go. Russell Wilson's in the chat. What's up, Russell? Thank you so much, man. He says, Brilly, my friend. Let's win on Monday with smash mouth football. Just win. I just want to win. We win.
I don't care how they win. You want to call it smash mouth? You want to call it pretty? You want to call it finesse? You want to call it hard nosed? I don't care how we win. Just win. That's all I care about as a Giants fan. There's several ways to win in the NFL. The Cowboys sometimes win with smash mouth. Sometimes they win with pretty. The Titans wins a lot of the times with. I don't care how you win. Just win. Doesn't matter to me how you win.
Yes. Block Nation says, what do you think Jason Garrett's favorite ice cream flavor is? It has to do with his offense. It has to be vanilla.
Yeah.
Necessary.
It has to be just plain vanilla. There's no sprinkles. There's no hot chocolate. There's no nothing. There's no syrup.
Another pick. I think Rosen came in through 2 interceptions.
Good. Not good. It's not that I'm hating against the guy, but I can't believe that there were Giant fans at the beginning of the year that thought that he could start for the Giants.
I don't know whatever happened. Man.
He's horrible.
Oh, it's not Rosen. I'm sorry. That's Frank's. It's Frank's in there. That's Frank's. Whoever the hell Frank's is. So it wasn't Rosen. Maybe it's French vanilla.
French vanilla is not bad. I'm looking right now. Rosen has maybe Franks came in. Yeah, you're right. So they brought Rosen in for 3 passes. He threw for 5 yards and a pick, and then they brought in Franks, and he threw 1 pass.
So they all got an interception tonight.
Yeah, 4 picks tonight for the Patriots
and 2 pick sixes. Yeah, Nikki, you won your week. What's the difference between French vanilla and Philly vanilla?
I've never heard of Philly vanilla.
Yeah, there's a Philadelphia vanilla. I heard that you find it in a dumpster. There really is a Philly vanilla, though. I'm not lying.
You got vanilla bean as well.
How can there be so many vanillas?
Yeah,
vanillas.
A lot of vanillas.
There's a lot of vanillas. Huh? Nikki, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. I was hoping for Rosen to give me 6 points. I just called that pick 6 to my dad. We're dying laughing. Can't believe I liked him coming out. You know who liked him the most was Ian, Jet Central. He loved Josh Rosen.
A lot of people did. And, he's not alone. A lot of people like Josh Rosen. And, yeah, I think what Josh Rosen was I think a lot of Giants fans were convincing themselves to fall in love with a quarterback. He definitely had talent, but I never thought, even though I did think he had talent, I never liked the fit with New York. I never thought he would succeed here.
No, me neither. Personality didn't fit here.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd be as bad as he's been in the NFL, but never wanted him anywhere near the Giants.
T says Atlanta looks bad on so many levels. I know. I can't believe we lost to this team.
Yeah, Atlanta sucks. I mean,
they got Atlanta now. We would whoop their ass.
Yeah, they suck. They're horrible.
We would kill them. That's right, Braids. That's right. It was Franks, the Arkansas quarterback. And then Jonathan said Rosen got benched already. Yes, well, Rosen did throw a touchdown. It was just wrong team, but he did throw a touchdown, and they benched him. Jeremiah, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, again, it's a team sport. Everybody's saying the Patriots way was all Brady. Belichick doing more with less. Well, Belichick's the greatest head coach in the history of football, in my opinion.
How fitting would it be this year? And I said this, I think, to one of my friends the other day. How fitting would it be if Belichick wins a Super Bowl this year and he says, all right, now me and Brady are tied up at 1 apiece? I don't think he will with a rookie quarterback with Mac Jones, but I'm happy that Belichick's having a good year this year because I thought last year it looked really bad on him that Brady went to Tampa and, won a Super Bowl and he struggled with Cam Newton, but there's no doubt about it. Belichick is ridiculous. In my opinion, the greatest head coach of all time, even though he's been caught cheating a couple of times.
Christian Glone says, think Philly vanilla has something to do with condoms or something. I had to look this up. I want to look it up what Philadelphia vanilla is.
It's called Philly vanilla?
There you go. Philly
vanilla. That's a real thing.
Yeah, let's see what it says. Oh. It doesn't say anything. There's no Wikipedia on it. It's just a Philly style vanilla ice cream.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's just a Stewart's thing.
No, I see pictures all over.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's a real thing.
Okay. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the difference between Philadelphia. Philly vanilla is named after our very own Philly Dake. Are you sure that this is everywhere? Philly vanilla is named after our very own Philly Dake, the inventor of our famous make-your-own sundaes. Philly vanilla gets its rich flavor from the highest quality vanilla beans sourced from Madagascar, and it's speckled with crushed vanilla beans to enrich vanilla flavor. It's a Stewart's thing. That's why I saw it. Maybe that's why you never saw it. Because Stewart's is a convenience store up north, up north, in the Northeast. I think there's some in Vermont too, but definitely upstate New York. And like the main one is based in Saratoga. And they make their own ice cream. They make their own milk, that type of thing. So maybe that's why I saw that, because I knew they had a Philly vanilla. I'm like, what the hell is Philly vanilla? It's good. I've had it, but I didn't know what the hell it was.
So that makes sense.
What's that?
That makes sense then why I've never heard of it and you have.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because we don't got
I thought maybe it was a thing and it just ended up in Stewart's. Maybe it's just a Stewart's thing. I don't know. I love vanilla ice cream. It's good stuff. Avery, I like it better than chocolate. Strawberry, you can go to hell. Listen, ice creams can never have fruit in it. Okay, like people like sherbet, and they always say it wrong. Sherbet. There's no R in there.
I've never. Some people say sherbet.
It is sherbet.
It's not sherbet.
It's sherbet. It's spelled SHERBET. It's not
sherbet. It's sherbet.
It's sherbet. There's no R.
I've been saying it wrong my whole life.
My wife says it wrong. I'm like, look at it. It's not Sherbert. It's sherbet. It's not sherbert.
I'm still gonna call it sherbet. I don't care.
My wife still does too. She's like, the hell with you. I just like to needle her. But yeah, I mean, I don't like it. I don't like watermelon roll, and I don't like orange sherbet and whatever. I don't like fruit ice cream. If I want fruit, like something that's frozen and fruit, it's Italian ice for me. I'm not gonna get sherbet. Sherbet.
You're right. I'm looking at it right now. It is. I always thought it was sherbet.
Everybody does. But I know
it just sounds better with the R.
It does, but I like to do that just to tick everybody off. You know me. Avery, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, was held by an Eagles fan at a bar, ended up agreeing to a $500 bet the Giants wouldn't end last in the division. How nervous should I be? Well, I think the Washington got made you a little bit more nervous.
I don't think they will, Avery. I could be wrong, but I think they'll finish second or third by year's end. But you definitely shouldn't be super confident.
Yeah, I'd be a little nervous. I wouldn't be super nervous yet, but I would be nervous. I'd be nervous. Barkley, I am trolling. No, it really is pronounced sherbet. But like I said, my wife always calls it sherbet, and I'm like, that's not what it is. There's no R. It's sherbet. Say it. She's like, sherbet. She ain't never gonna agree with me, even though I'm right. Anyway, I'm married. That's why people are like, oh, that's my favorite. You're wrong, Bad Dog. Bad Dog's always wrong. I'm like, yeah, I am always wrong. Ask my wife. She'll tell you. I'm married. I am always wrong. I'm used to it. Robert, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, just in NFL Special Commission investigating the Giants' failure to address the offensive line. Inside report getting only one skinny guys.
Did you hear about Zach Stacy?
You know, somebody told me about that, and I didn't even know who the hell Zach Stacy was.
I only knew who it was,
and then I looked it up, and I didn't see the video, but I saw he was a former running back.
Yeah, so, I had him on my fantasy team in his rookie year. I drafted him. That's the only reason why I knew who he was.
Well, I had Henry Ruggs on my fantasy team this year. If that makes you feel any better.
He played for the Jets too, I think, for like a brief stint.
Is he a Ram?
Yeah, he was drafted by the
Rams. Then I didn't see the video. I just heard that he like beat the hell out of his girlfriend. So
yeah, crazy man.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That could be. I mean, I'm not making excuses for him. You should never, ever hit a woman anyway. But maybe it's that CTE shit. You don't know.
Yeah.
And some of those guys through the roof. I mean, look at what's the other one? Wasn't there just a thing on Julius Jones that he escaped the death penalty and he got life in prison?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. I remember who was the other guy? You had Lawrence Phillips.
Lawrence Phillips. He played
him? He got in trouble for rape or whatever it was. He went to jail. Then he murdered his cellmate. Then he killed himself. Like some of these football players are insane.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the concussions and everything.
Yeah, it does. But that's what I'm saying. I'm not making excuses, but you never know. I mean, that could be a reason.
Yeah, I think it definitely is.
Johnny, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, hey, Bad Dog, you and Tuto always talk trash. Philly, at least Chris is more compassionate. That's why Bad Dog will pay by wearing the Allen jersey. Can't wait. I hate the Eagles.
I tell you all the time I hate your team.
I mean, me and Tuto just like to make fun of you. You guys stink.
There's not a team I hate more on the earth than the Philadelphia Eagles. So I don't think I'm easy on you guys.
Yeah, look at it. Here we go. Mr. Fraud Dog. This guy paid $5 to troll me. Bad Dog's Mickey Mouse path to 80K subs. Rant videos every day. Flip-flop opinions carried by Chris. Swap his NBA free views as well. Bald.
Okay, I get like whatever, like it's insulting you, but what does bold have to do with anything?
Nothing. But you know, this is the funny thing.
Does being bold help you get more subscribers on YouTube? Maybe
it absolutely does.
Hair,
yeah, it's got nothing to do with hard work and dedication. Nothing to do with hard work. The guy paid $5 for that. Sir, number one, I wipe my ass with your opinion of me. Number two, get a life. Seriously, get a life. Do you really think that I care? Don't care. Have a nice life, sir. Thank you for the $5, by the way. Darian, thank you, buddy. And I'm sure that your parents will wonder why that's on their credit card as well. Darian, thank you so much. Appreciate it. He says the Giants should start using Saquon how the Saints use Kamara. this would be better for him as a player and his health. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier that I think that even when he's healthy, he and Devontae Booker should split more carries, and that Saquon Barkley should have less of a workload since he can't seem like he can't stay on the field. So maybe that wouldn't be such a bad idea to use Barkley more in a passing setting and have Devontae Booker run the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, Authentic said at the beginning of the year. I always give him credit for that because it was a really good idea long before anybody else said it. And I'm in complete agreement, Darian. I think they need, and one thing I will say is it looked like they were starting to do that, at least in the Saints game. Before he got hurt, it looked like they were starting to use him a lot more in the passing game, and hopefully they do that when he gets back. But yeah, I'm with you, man. I'd like to see him maybe catch 6-7 balls a game and have 10, 11 carries. I think he should be used more like Kamara's. I agree with you on that.
Yep. Nikki, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says Stacy didn't just hit her. It was hard to see. That's why I didn't watch it.
Yeah, it was bad, man. I didn't watch it either, but I read the story. I didn't watch the video.
Yeah, that's why I didn't watch it.
Yeah. Joey,
thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says Brady is going down, or we're going to turn this around. I hope you're right. If we beat Brady, then I think we have turned it around.
If we beat Brady, I will say, and I'm going to say it right now, and people are going to call me a fool. I don't care. At the beginning of the year, I had us 4-6 and finishing 9-8. If we beat Brady, I'm going to stick with that prediction because they're right where I thought they'd be. 4-6 after the Bucs game, even though I didn't have us beating the Bucs, and finishing 9-8. And 9-8 means I think they're going to the playoffs. So if we beat Brady, I will be picking the Giants to make the playoffs. You heard it here first. If we beat Brady, which I don't think we're going to do, I will be picking the Giants to get the 7th seed in the NFC.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm down. I would love to see it. I would love some playoffs. I would just love to win some games. You got to get one at a time. That's how it starts. It starts one at a time. It starts on Monday night. Ray, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Evan Neal in the first. Will Anderson in the second. Not a homer. No, you're an Alabama guy.
Yeah, but it's never a bad idea to draft Alabama players.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Alabama players. Right. Look at Mac Jones.
Yeah, it's never a bad idea to draft Alabama players, right?
Definitely.
You guys are basically an NFL team to begin with.
It's true. They really are. A lot of great players come out of Alabama.
Yeah.
A lot of great players come out of Alabama. They really do. Jeremiah, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, if we beat Brady, I'll shave my beard. It's not happening. Wow.
Now, Jeremiah, I am going to hold you to that because you're going to have to change your profile picture, and I need to see an updated picture. I want the same exact picture. I don't know if you are. It looks like maybe you're at a ski resort. I don't know. I can't tell. But I need the same exact picture without the beard. And you have to promise me that, Jeremiah. If we beat the Bucs this week, I expect to see a beardless picture on YouTube.
That's insane. That's putting it up there. I thought me having to wear an Eagles jersey, we lost the Eagles, was something. But you see.
Oh, that's your house. Okay. Well, I need the same picture in the same exact area of the house with no beard.
There you go. There you go. Drip Giant says, no, I love you all so much. Make my night so good. Well, thank you, Drip Giants. We appreciate that. You know, we love doing this show, even when the Giants suck, which they have since we started doing it. So it'll be nice when they're good. And we say that every week. Hopefully we find a way to pull up a major upset in Tampa Bay. And, then we beat Philadelphia, and then maybe we have something. But it's one game at a time, and there's no doubt about it. You know, we have to win. We cannot lose Monday. Pretty much every game from here on out is a playoff game. So we'll see. Abe Froman, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. How many more wins to keep Gettleman?
I think 8 wins for the year becomes a discussion. And I don't even know if Gettleman's going to be back regardless. I could see Gettleman retiring at the end of the year, even if we make the playoffs. But I think 8 wins at least becomes a topic of conversation. I think anything less, and when I say 8 wins, I mean 8 wins for the year. I think anything less, there's no chance. 9 wins, I think he's back for sure. So I would say if he wants to come back, if he's not retiring, I would say 9 wins, he's back. 8 wins, I'd go like 30-70. 30 he's back, 70 he's not. And anything less, I'd be shocked if he's back.
Yep. Yes. I agree. I think you have to have a winning record for him to come back. Jeremiah, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. He says, funny how everyone in this division thinks they can beat everyone else in the division. We all stink. That's a fact.
Outside of Dallas, I got to give Dallas their props, Jeremiah. They're a damn good team this year. And I know they had a hiccup there a week ago, but Dallas is legit. They're definitely one of the top 5 or 6 teams in the league. But outside of them, I agree, Jeremiah. I'm not gonna lie to you, and you should feel the same way about us. I'm not telling you shouldn't, but I think we could beat you guys, no problem. Well, not to say no problem, but I definitely don't think it's crazy that I think we could beat you guys, and if we play our best game, and I think the same thing about Washington. I'm sure you guys feel the same way about us.
Yeah, exactly. Sling says we all used all the juice in this jersey style. Time to switch to the '80s uniform. Facts.
They got to
switch to the '80s Giants.
Change the uniform, change the stadium, whatever. Change something.
The stadium should be changed. That thing should be imploded. Both the Jets and the Giants are terrible. It's time. It's time to get that thing the hell out of there. Just move it over into the Hudson River. That's not too far away. Just dump it in there. Dashy, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, my man. He says Giants are going to either need a head coach that can be aggressive or a GM that doesn't panic in the first round. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Gettleman's Reese used to panic. I don't know that Gettleman is panicked, but it would be nice to have a more aggressive, offensive-minded head coach, I believe.
I think Gettleman this year, and again, I think it was equally Judge influence, but I think the Judge and Gettleman felt like they were taking a playmaker no matter what. And when Smith was off the board, they said, we're going to trade back and we're going to get our wide receiver at 20. I think that's what happened. I think they were dead set on taking a wide receiver in the first round. So I don't know if they necessarily panicked. I think they looked at it after Devontae Smith was off the board and they were like, all right, let's trade down. Let's get value in the future. And we like 4 or 5 players that we could get at 20. One of them will drop to us, preferably a playmaker. And that's what happened. I think that was the plan on draft night. I don't think they panicked. I think they knew going in because that trade happened pretty quick, if I remember, Baddog. Like, pretty much after the Eagles made that trade, when the Giants were on the clock, the trade happened relatively quickly. So I think the Giants had that pre-planned. I think they said to themselves, if Devontae Smith's off the board, we're going to trade down. And that's what happened.
Yeah. Andrew Talkin Giants says, my Buckeyes have Nicholas Petit Fear and Thayer Mumford, 2 offensive tackles. Would be great for the Giants. I hope we stay away from Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, though. Go Giants. Well, we don't need any receivers, but Chris Olave is a beast. Chris Olave is awesome. Chris Olave,
he's going top 10 in a lot of mocks.
He is really good. But yeah, I mean, I'd much rather have the offensive tackles. I am still a Tyler Linderbaum guy, though. I mean, I think we need just a big, brooding center. Wirfs came from Iowa. Iowa produces the Big Ten usually produces good offensive linemen. So
Notre Dame, Iowa, Wisconsin. Yeah, they produce good linemen.
Yep. Exactly. The thing Baddog doesn't read the chat. I don't. I guess at a Dodger. I've never even seen a game, so I flip flop all day. I've never even watched a football game in my life. I guess at everything I do. Jeremiah, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says Dallas will do Dallas things. They look the best. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeremiah. I agree with you. Come playoff time, Dallas will find a way to lose.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that.
Bonham says Tony is way better than Devontae Smith anyway.
I mean, Devontae Smith had a good game this past week. I think he caught 2 touchdowns, but
he averages about 60 yards a game. He has 4 touchdowns all year, so he hasn't been good.
Yeah, I mean, I like Tony. Well, if he can stay healthy, I think he could be just as good as Smith. I don't disagree with that statement, but he's got to stay on the field, and we got to find a way to get him involved in the offense.
Yeah. Yes. Johnny, thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you, my man. He says, guys, the Buccaneers secondary has been adding circumstances injury. If Garrett and Judge don't have Jones aired out, they should be gone. We say that every week, Johnny. We're waiting for Daniel Jones to air it out, and the biggest problem with airing it out is he needs time to throw it. In order to throw the ball deep down the field, he needs time to set himself in the pocket, step up, and throw it. If he's not getting that time, if Jason Pierre-Paul is in his lap by the time he hits his back step of 5 or 7 step drop, he ain't going to be able to complete those passes. So I agree. We would all love to see them. We're sick and tired of these 3-yard curls. Yeah. But again, he needs to have time to throw it. So I would like to see them take some shots, though. They're going to have to because, again, the defense has played better, but I don't think you're holding Tampa Bay to 16 points, and I don't think that's happening. So we haven't scored 30 points all year. We average less than 20 a game. Really couldn't hurt. I mean, we got nothing to lose, in my opinion. We should play that way.
Yeah, it comes down to Andrew Thomas for me, man. If he could block the way he did the first 4 games before the injury, I think Jones will have enough time to make throws, and I do. And if he does, I agree with you. I think they need to try to stretch the field.
Robert comes up with these questions out of nowhere. Hey, my man, he says Stovers, or is that Stovers or Stoppers or homemade? You talking about stuffing?
Yeah, I think you mean stuffing. Yeah, I gotta go homemade, Rob.
Yeah, I'm going with Stovers.
You like the stuff? I'm going homemade.
Nah, I don't like the homemade. The people make homemade stuffing different. Like they put different things.
It depends on the individual.
I don't know what I'm getting with Stovers.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know, I don't know. Some people put sausage in. Like I don't like sausage in my stuff, but some people put that in there. Some people put bread in it. Some people don't. Some people put cranberry in it. Like it's just it depends on who makes it. So I know what I'm getting out of a box of stovetop stuff. So that's why I prefer. You know.
Can't go wrong with that with Stouffer's, though. Stouffer's is good, but I'm going homemade.
Yeah, I got you. Glenn, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. He says, yeah, because the Giants can never add any bad teams with the old logo. Hashtag Dave Brown. Oh, it's a fact. We did. We had bad teams with the.
Oh, we had plenty of
the playoffs in '97 with Dave Brown. Or that was Danny Cannell. That wasn't even.
I think it was Cannell in '97, yeah.
Sims
in '93, right? Sims
but I also think, Glenn, in the '60s, in the early '70s, we had that NY that we have now. This NY, and they weren't good then either.
It was the same NY back then.
Yeah. The old NY is the Sam Huff NY. You know, it is. It's this one. It was that, and then I forgot what year they moved to that, just the Giants logo. I know when I first started watching the Giants, that was it. But I think that was an 80s thing, if I'm not mistaken. But I know in the 60s and the early 70s, they had the logo that they have now. And then
I wish they went back to the Giants, man. I wish they went back to the Giants. I love the Giants on the helmet.
Yeah, I'm ready. That's what this is. So let's put this back in the helmets, you know. Jeremiah says homemade or nothing. Yeah, I like I said, it depends on who makes it. You know, and that's true for anything. Like my buddy's mother, he used to put sausage in lasagna. You don't put sausage in lasagna. That was gross. Like that
wait. The sausage is one thing. Lasagna and stuffing?
No, she put sausage in the lasagna.
Oh, sausage in the lasagna.
No, use beef for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably eat it, but I wouldn't prefer it.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So
yeah, I wouldn't prefer it.
That's it.
Yeah, I think you missed Abe's super chat, by the way. I just want to make sure you don't miss it.
Oh, thank you, sir. Abe, thank you, my man. Appreciate you as mid-season MVP. I got Thomas even with missed games.
Yeah, I mean, you look around the offense, it's really hard to give it to anybody but Thomas. Barkley's been hurt. Galladay doesn't have a touchdown. Tony doesn't have a touchdown. Ingram's he scored a touchdown this past week, but he hasn't been much. The rest of the offensive line's bad. It would either be Daniel Jones or Andrew Thomas on the offense, and on the defense, McKinney, Leonard Williams,
Azeez Ojulari,
Adoree Jackson. I might agree with him. And if he didn't get hurt, he certainly would be the MVP for sure.
Yes. My Philippines expiration says it's because Italians know good quality. This is true. We do know good quality. But I'm a very picky eater. I really am. I am not your stereotypical Italian guy. I don't like seafood. I don't like wine. I don't like a ton of garlic. That's for sure. But I do love bread, and I do love sauce, and I do love pizza, and I love pasta. Yeah, chicken, veal parm. That stuff. Good stuff. Dashy, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Other than offensive linemen in the offseason, the Giants are going to need to address a position on the defensive side of the football. Yes. Dashy, yeah, we need both sides. We need the trenches. Defensive line, offensive line. Game is won there. We really need that big time edge rusher. Big time edge rusher. Because if we had a true, like a Bosa out there, just say.
Yeah, it changes everything.
Bosa. So we had Joey Bosa. That makes Leonard Williams that much better. So if you could find a guy like that, like if Thibodeau did fall in their lap, maybe they do go that route. But I think that would only improve Leonard Williams. It'd be nice to have a pass rush. A pure pass rusher without having to blitz. It'd be nice to get there with 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah, I think we're 2 pieces away from having like an elite defense. I think we already have a very good defense, but I think we're 2 pieces away from having an elite defense, and that's that's an edge, and that's a coverage linebacker. And right now we don't really have either one. But you get that, yeah, I think we could have an elite defense for sure. And yeah, that's kind of what's missing with this team. I will say Quincy Roche's done a really good job the last 3 or 4 games. I think he, getting an opportunity. I hope he continues to. And obviously, Ojulari's been a pleasant surprise in his rookie year. So hopefully they keep it up. But I'm with you. I think for this defense to really take it to the next level, you need that dominant edge rusher. I still don't think we have that.
Andrew says, do you think Ryan Day is the second best? I don't know. I mean, Nick Saban's obviously the best. I don't think that's even close. But with the way George is playing this year, I mean, it's hard not to pick Kirby Smart this year. Kirby Smart's then done an amazing job. And George is incredible. And George has half the players missing. I mean, George don't even have their best players. They don't have George Pickens. George Pickens is one of the best wide receivers in the country. They don't even have him. They're playing Stetson Bennett. They're not even playing JT Daniels, who's their starting quarterback. I mean, they've been doing this with half a team, and nobody's close. So, I mean, this year, and it changes every year, I would have to go Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart's done a great job this year. Although I'll tell you, Uncle Lou can't stand that he don't play JT Daniels, but they've been riding with Stetson Bennett, and I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Maybe when they play in the SEC championship game against Bama, maybe then it changes. But I think the next 2 weeks, they have a FCS school this week. I don't know who it is, and they play Georgia Tech. I mean, neither one of those teams will probably score on Georgia, and then they're going to play Alabama. So if Alabama don't lose to Auburn, we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's getting good in college football now. This is when it gets fun.
I saw somebody ask a question a couple of times. I don't see it now, but he asked who's the midseason MVP in the NFL. That's a tough question. I think you go to so many different guys for me. I mean, I would probably lean Stafford. Stafford leads the league in passing yards. He has I think like the highest QB rating or second highest QB rating, if I'm not mistaken. But you could give it to a bunch of guys. You give it to Brady. You could give it to Dak. You could give it to Kupp, who's having
I would give it to Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray, yeah, he's another one for sure.
Look at what they did without Kyler Murray. Look at our boy Colt McCoy out there.
Yeah, no, you could definitely give it to Kyler Murray. But how many games has he missed now? 2 games?
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be hard for him to win it. But he's been incredible this year. I think I'd go with Stafford though. I right now, if I had to pick somebody, I think I'd go with Stafford.
Yes. Abe, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. If we draft the defensive end, do we go back to a 4-3, move Leo inside? I think it would depend on the defensive coordinator. But they do. Chris mentioned this before. They kind of play a hybrid 4-3 at times. I don't know. I wish they would play more of a 4-3 anyway, and have Dexter Lawrence and Leo inside with a couple of edge rushers. I would like to see more of that, but I think it depends on the defense coordinator, what he feels is the best system for him.
Yeah. It depends on who the DC is going to be. I don't see Patrick Graham switching to the 4-3 because that's not what he wants to run. So if he's still here, I think they're going to stay with what he runs. And he doesn't run strictly a 3-4. He's, he does both. But I don't think that they're going to run a 4-3 as long as Patrick Graham's still the defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Robert, thank you. He says, if you two were stranded on an island, who would most likely eat the other? Happy holidays. That's it.
What?
I think that if we were stranded on an island, we would probably try to find to get the hell off of the island.
Yeah, that would be the last thing on my mind. I'd be trying to eat other things.
Yes.
That would be my last resort. I'd be looking for like rats or anything before I eat a human being. So
yeah,
that'd be like the last.
I agree.
Here's what I'll say: the first guy who died. That's who would be the guy that was eaten.
And then that would last for about a week, and then the other guy's dead. So
yeah.
I don't know.
What a random question.
That was the most random of all of them. For sure.
Yeah, fish. Yeah, definitely fish first. But I was just thinking of like extreme things. Like I was like, I'd even eat a rat before I started thinking about
bugs.
Yeah, bugs, whatever.
Bat.
But yeah, of course, fish first. You go for the fish first.
Yeah.
Wild boars.
Yeah, whatever. Hogs, of course. Chris goes right back to that.
Yeah.
We need some wild boars in his offensive line.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. No doubt about that. NY Giants 26. Thank you guys. He says, you guys see the Zach Stacey video? He's not a man. No, I didn't watch it. I heard about it, but I didn't watch it. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see some dude wailing on a woman. I don't need to see that in my life. And I'm a guy that watches serial killer documentaries like it's my job, but I can't look at that.
Yeah, I read it. I read about it. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, documentaries are one thing. I'm not actually seeing the stuff happen. So I like horror movies because that's all fiction. So I don't need to see that.
I actually just saw a horror movie. It was pretty good. It's out in theaters. Last night in Soho. It was pretty good.
That's it. The last time, well, I watched the Halloween Kills movie.
Did you like that? I haven't seen it. It got bad reviews.
It got what?
It didn't get good reviews.
I mean, how many times can you bring that guy back to life? I love Halloween. It's my favorite movie of all time. That and Goodfellas, the original Halloween. Yeah. But how many times can you do the same thing?
Yeah.
Like it was violent. It was gory. The
last one was actually pretty good, I thought. The last Halloween I thought was pretty good. I haven't seen this one, but the one before I thought was pretty good.
Yeah. I thought it was cool that they brought back the masks from Halloween 3.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. And I did not watch the Halloween before this. I have it. I've never opened it. It's a Blu-ray. I should probably watch it. So I don't know if they had Lindsay and Tommy in that one, but they are in this one. They're in Halloween Kills. The two kids she babysits the original night. So it was always good to see a throwback. They brought back the nurse, and I was like, she dies at the beginning of H2O, so I don't know how she came back to life. That was a glitch. Continuity is hard, as my man, the horror geek, would say. Continuity is hard. They kill her off in H2O. She comes back in this one.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna see it. I still haven't seen it though. Somebody asked me about Dune. Yeah, I saw Dune. That's actually on HBO Max. If you don't want to have to go to the theaters to see it. Dune was pretty good. I liked it. It looks like it could be a good series. It was kind of slow moving at first, but it was pretty good.
Yeah. So it was that Halloween 3 was terrible. See, I liked Halloween 3. I actually love Halloween 3. I don't worry about Michael Myers not being in it. And that's why I think that Halloween 3 got such a cult following at this point, because there's 10 other movies with Michael Myers in it. You can watch it, but Halloween 3 stands alone as its own movie. If it was just called Season of the Witch, it probably wouldn't have got as bad of reviews or backlash, because people love that Michael Myers character. John Carpenter killed him off in part 2. He killed Dr. Loomis off, and he was going to go in the direction of Halloween 3, where every year he was going to make a movie based on Halloween, but didn't have anything to do with Michael Myers, kind of like a Twilight Zone thing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and with such the poor backlash of what happened, he got rid of he never really dealt with another Halloween movie again. And then Mustafa Khan took it over, brought back Michael Myers, and here we are 43 years later still making Halloween movies. So I don't know. As a guy that is really close to the original, I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was a bad movie, but like I said, it's just I guess because I've seen Halloween a billion times, and I've seen all the Halloween movies. I just know how they go, so there's really no surprises. But of course, I was going to watch it. I mean,
yeah,
it wasn't bad. I mean, it's a horror movie. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Then we got way off topic at this point. Getting into Halloween Kills or whatever. Yes.
I still got to see that though. I saw Ghostbusters too. That was good. I saw that at Comic-Con. That was good.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, I could talk movies for. Well, it just came out. It comes out tomorrow, but I already saw it. It was good.
Whatever happened to your brother got married, so that's the end of that.
Oh, the movie channel.
Yeah.
He got caught up, man, with the wedding and everything. But hopefully that's something that we could do. Once things settle down. I could talk movies for hours. I love movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I actually enjoyed that, but he's married now, so forget it. You better ask. You better ask her. You better ask your sister-in-law if he can do the show. He's going to need permission. Take it. Trust me. I'm a veteran of the marital type, so I understand that. Rick Rosenthal swore Carpenter helped ruin Halloween 2, even though I liked it as much as he went on to make the abomination known as Resurrection. I didn't like Halloween Resurrection either. Afghanistan. And I saw that about Rick Rosenthal. Didn't think Carpenter really helped him with that. But I think John Carpenter even said himself about Halloween too, that he just drank a lot and figured, how am I going to write an entire movie about the same movie that I just wrote? I don't know. I do like Halloween too. I like the first four, and then they kind of veer off, especially once you get to 6. I don't really like H2O. I definitely don't like Resurrection.
Resurrection's the one with Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes, yeah.
Oh, that one was bad.
Yeah.
H2O was actually decent, I thought, but the one with Busta Rhymes was really bad. That's really bad.
On that note, since we've gotten to this point in the show and we're talking about movies, why don't we get out of here a little early tonight? Do appreciate you guys and girls being here as always. You guys and girls are the best supporters and subscribers on YouTube, but really do appreciate it. Could never be able to do this show without all your support, even though the Giants are terrible. Like I said, you still show up, watch the videos, hang out in the live streams, come to the, hang out in the game streams. And hopefully we can win and we can get some of that mojo that we felt last year. Even though we were 6-10, it was exciting because we were in a playoff chase. Hopefully we find a way to beat Tampa Bay, and then we move on to Philadelphia, and hopefully we can put a couple of wins together and get ourselves right back in this thing with an extra game and an extra playoff seeding. There's an outside chance that we can put a couple of games together here that we can get there. Might get our face beat in the first game, but it'd be nice to have playoffs back with the Giants. New York Giants, thank you, buddy. Says build an O-line out of fictional characters. I don't know. Superman.
Yeah, we can get the Avengers to be the Giants' offensive line. It can't be worse than what we got. So
that's right. Stay Puff Marshmallow Man.
Yes, absolutely. But no, all kidding aside, thank you to everybody, all the support you guys always show. Got into a little movie talk there for like the last 10 minutes, but like once you start talking movies, man, I'm gonna go. So
no, I know. And listen, I can talk movies too.
I can talk My Cousin Vinny for 3 hours if you want.
Yeah, we can talk about the movie longer than the movie is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you.
But and I see somebody say, Tony, I saw the new Sopranos movie. It was pretty good. It was all right. It was pretty good. Actually, it was better than I thought it was gonna be, but it still wasn't great. Yeah. But yeah, I always have fun talking with you guys. Obviously, talking with Baddog. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. Of course, Baddog, thank you for having me on. Yes. I am actually really pumped up about this game. I am not going to go into this game with false expectations. I'm not going to be like, I think we're going to win, because I don't. We're playing a really good team. But I do actually have some confidence in the way the Giants have played the last couple of weeks on the defensive end. And I think that'll carry over with an extra week to prepare. And I think the defense is going to keep us in the game. I think it's going to be a fun game, and hopefully the New York Giants get lucky and find a way to squeak out a win. But regardless, looking forward to the game, and thank you to everybody for coming on. Yeah, no doubt about that. Let's get a W on Monday. It'll be nice. One last time, if you haven't done so, guys, hit the thumbs up. It helps out the stream. Make sure you go into the description. Click on the link to the Entertainment Talkin Sports channels right there. If you're not subscribed to him, don't know where the hell you've been, make sure you click on that. Subscribe to him. And hopefully we see you guys and girls on Monday. We get a W. The Entertainment Talkin Sports.